What's your favorite animated film? A movie that's animated, not Disney.
God, I have no idea. Name a few.
Um, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That was animated.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I'll include CGI movies too, like Toy Story.
I don't know. I seriously do not know.
What's your favorite Tarzan movie?
I don't have one because I don't know the name.
Who do you like better, the Three Stooges or Abbott and Costello?
I don't know that either. Hang on.
What's your favorite musical? Are you going back by the desk? Should I get the camera ready?
I'm in my bedroom. Over in my closet.
All right, I'll say goodnight to you, Perry. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Wait. Just because everybody's still on here on After Hours, can you please apologize to the After Hours people for your harsh behavior?
There's no apology when I get disrespected.
No, but I know, but it's After Hours is a different thing. We have a different vibe here than PCL. Can you just apologize? I'm just asking you to nicely apologize for your behavior.
Yes, I'm sorry for wigging out because of my food schedules and my health. Okay, my health needs. I have to eat at a certain.
No, Perry, I don't want an apology with excuses. I just want an apology.
I'm sorry.
That's it. Okay, thank you. We'll leave it there. All right, I got to work some out. I got to deal with about a bunch of canceled memberships from the After Hours Premium now. So thank you very much for that.
For that happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm never going to do an After Hours premium thing with you again.
Well, you're not invited to one.
Thank you. All right.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye. Terrible behavior. Shameful. Anyway, all is well. I actually am legitimately thinking about a Kia. I haven't had a car since last December, and I'm actually thinking about a Kia, which is crazy because it's so anti PCL. But everybody I know has one, loves it. But I need something reasonable and whatever. I can't get a super truck like Perry's gonna get. Is this the official ending? I think so. I think we're approaching that official ending. Yes, because this was After Hours. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do a bonus ad. That was After Hours. Liz asked if he got a toilet on his patio. Boy, yes. Somebody catch up Liz. Yes, there was some shenanigans going on tonight. Kia has gotten better quality over the years. I still wouldn't get one. Yeah, I know. How do I get around now? I basically borrow a car that I've been borrowing for quite a while. So I've been using that. But I had a tree fall on my car like last December. And I went through insurance and I got like an insurance check out of it, but I haven't yet to get a replacement. And it's getting to the point now, especially going into the fall, I am desperate to get a new car. So I'm just like, and again, I have that curse of thing. Yeah, and somebody says Volkswagen car. I agree, and I have a friend that works at a Volkswagen dealer who said, he can hook me up maybe with a good deal or something like that. So I'm going to see what that's all about too. But it's Something's got to give. But I have that disease of like researching things and like I know I want if a car something you're gonna have for a while and I want to get the right one and yeah. Subaru is a good car too. Yeah. I had a I've gone through I had a Toyota Corolla. I love the Toyota Corolla that I had. Um, I had I had a Nissan. I hate Nissan. I don't like Nissans. I had a Nissan Altima. Didn't like it at all. Loads of problems with it. Uh, Great stream, TomB. Denny's was great. Good. Glad you guys liked it. I'm glad you guys liked it. I almost like rolled my eyes when we were going to Denny's. I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to get off myself, to be honest with you. I was, I would not to be fair. I'm always going to put the stream first, but I was like, I was looking forward to. I was like, oh, I could if I get off now, I could still order from this place and get a dinner. I was going to order from this Japanese place and get some sushi or whatever, but that's off the table now. Clearly. I had a lay car when I was a kid, the Mr. Bean car. I remember those. Get a nice 2000 secondhand Corolla. Yeah, I had a '94 Corolla, and I just loved it. I loved that. I love that car. Perry Project. Love the Great After Hours and Denny stream. Love. We all love longer stream. Well, I went longer tonight too because I know we're taking a little break. So maybe that's another thing. Um, but yeah, and again, it's like funny. There was a point in the day where there was like, I was looking at we had like 400 something viewers, and a lot of the regulars weren't around because it's Labor Day weekend, and I was going back and forth with Joey and a friend of mine actually who had tuned in, and I was like, yeah, I think it'll be a quiet one today. I don't think there's a lot going. We'll see. And then yeah, and then 9.5 hours later, we if we went one more hour, we would have came close to topping New Year's Eve because New Year's Eve was 10.5 hours. So this was definitely the longest stream with Perry by far. 9 hours. Come on. And we had other people watching too. That were restreaming it on YouTube. Good stream, disappointing after hours. So yeah, I'm catching up on some chat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, apparently Johnny Pretzel says getting Perry in front of brand new viewers had to be real fun. Yeah, apparently they were interested in Justin Perry talking about DSP, but from what I was gathering, and I couldn't see their stream obviously because we were doing this stream, but apparently they were all just absolutely loving Perry and were like crazy. Like and from what I heard, their chat on YouTube restreaming it with less people, by the way, was moving faster than our chat, which is interesting. Had to respect. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Have to respect Perry's attempt to not use the bathroom, even though he failed. He did not tell me that he was wearing a diaper. I didn't know. I can't. We connected a little later than we usually do today, and before the stream, and so we didn't have a lot of chit chat between us. And when he when he announced that he peed his pants, I was blown away because I didn't know he was wearing a diaper, and I guess he peed way. And I didn't notice all the other times he was peeing. Peeing. I guess some people after the fact can tell. Now, when you watch the replay, you can I guess you'll be able to tell when he's peeing. I didn't notice any of that, and then so if you missed it, he peed his pants a little bit, and then went to change himself. And I try to keep a pretty decent composure here, but I lost it. I definitely lost it. Yeah, I know Halloween falls on a Sunday for sure. Yeah, I don't. We'll see what happens. That's gonna come up. That's gonna come up faster than this. Yeah. Perry gone already. We've been doing this for 9 hours and 20 minutes. We started at 12 noon Pacific. Yeah, and Perry was nude too. You didn't see it on camera. I got to see it. I turned off that second camera. I had to turn off. Rick says Tom's laughing. Perry's diaper was funnier than Perry. Yeah, I couldn't even. I was gonna mute myself, and I couldn't even get to the mute button quick enough. It just all kind of erupted. Because there's times I do laugh, I'll laugh or something like that, and I'll mute myself or whatever. But I couldn't even get to the mute button because I was kind of leaning back a little bit. I was further away, and then that happened, and I just was God, I was dying. I wonder what Perry did with the soaked diaper. I think he threw it away, and I guarantee you it's still in that apartment right now. Belushi says he was acting like the diaper was poorly made because it could not hold four grown men pisses. Yeah. Mm. The first time Hannah ever felt bad for Perry. I didn't feel bad because well, I guess if you look at it in a way, like he was trying to do the right thing by the stream, like, and I didn't realize too, there were no pee breaks today for the most of the stream, and it didn't really dawn on me because it's Subscriber Sunday, so I was able to get up here and there and like move around, like when he was getting on calls and stuff. So it didn't really dawn on me that he didn't have any bathroom breaks today, and then it did. He should call Depends and complain since Cafe Lou. Yeah, what is the deal with Cafe Lou? There's something very strange going on there. Maybe it is some kind of weird brothel or something. Catching up on stream. Rick said, "Great stream today. Never know how it's going to go, and it surprises me every time. Thanks for that. Yeah, it look, definitely some curveballs. He felt bad from when he was talking about his friend. Yeah, I think his friend will pull through. The guy that he knows that's in the hospital with COVID. Perry gets overly emotional when talking about anything on the hint of emotional. But. Scary Terry says been watching. Who else has been watching for 9 hours straight aside from me and Scary Terry? Who else has been watching that whole time? Who else is OG and watched today's Subscriber Sunday from the start? Outside of myself, Hero, and Joey, of course. Scary Terry. Who else has been here the entire duration? Show of hands. Oh, a lot of people. Johnny Pretzels, Raccoon, Belushi, Soviet Goat. Tracy, you were not here the entire stream. Hannah. Nice. A lot of people. Okay, cool. Jill, good. That's thorough. Nice. Well, okay, a lot. Wow. That's a lot. So what do you guys, like, I'm just curious, what do you guys do when you have like a 9 hour stream? Do you like just go about your regular business while the stream's running? Like if you have to eat or you have to go somewhere, like get food or whatever, do you just go in the car and turn it on and listen and then come back home? Or are you watching is anybody watching on the TV the entire time? Like how does that work? Because I have friends that tell me like their thing, like, oh, I started out watching on my phone, then I had to drive somewhere, I listened to it in the car for a little while, and then I came home, watched it on the TV. I don't believe you, Tracy. I don't believe you while we're here. Sorry. I think you're fibbing. How do I know you called it 5 times? Because you can check your phone. I'm just teasing, Tracy. I believe you. I believe you were here the whole time. I was just playing. And by the way, I was teasing you with you earlier. With the phone. I didn't mean to send you into cardiac arrest. I was just being playful. I was just being playful. On your laptop. Order food, drinks beforehand, and set up security card watching the monitor. That's good. Hot tub drinks in PCL. Oh, I wish I could do. I wish I could watch from a hot tub. Work out and drink. Wow, that's interesting. Game a bit and watch sports while that's cool. Yeah, I do that. I'll listen to like Red Bar or something like that while I'm gaming or something like that. Just something to put on in the background. Okay. What's ROR2? Why am I not putting that together? That you're playing. Will we get WarioWare TomB? Yeah, you know what? I might even try to do if he does the Wario thing, where I'm pretty sure we can get that done for Friday, the launch day of the game, where Perry dresses as Wario. And again, if you tuned in late, contact Joe. I'm trying to get him a good payday for dressing up as Wario, because we're going to be gone for a little while. So if you enjoy the streams, and maybe you've never participated in a crowdsourcing, maybe you've never pitched in for anything, and but you enjoyed somewhere, like even if you put in like a couple of bucks, whatever, it really adds to the whole thing. Contact Joey Bags so I can just present him with a good thing. Like, it's funny. I had his cousin. I love Mark, but yesterday he was talking to me because they do their accounting on Saturdays, and he was like, so why are we taking time off again? Why are we? And I'm like, oh, we? What's this we? But he was kind of, it was on the line of like, listen, I got to take some time off. It's really none of your business. But he was like, because look, Perry owes his cousin Mark a ton of money. But, Risk of Rain too. No, I haven't heard of it. A roguelike with high learning curve, but it's kind of sandwich. Oh, that's interesting. I'll look into that. But, will Perry still consider offers from today? Yes, of course. But anyway, it's like there's gonna be like at least 10 days with no streams or anything like that before we come back, and so it'd be nice to get him a nice payday for the Wario thing. So get in touch with Joey if you're at all interested, especially new people. If you like participating in the streams or whatever. It's not required, but if you feel like it, hit up Joey or hit up myself. Even you can hit up me too. Normally I don't do that, but if you want to hit up me, me personally, either whisper me on Perry Caravello Live here or contact me on Facebook or any other way, get in touch and we can get that done for Friday. But my point in saying that is, I could say I would actually like to play WarioWare on After Hours on Friday a little bit, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know, like I don't have a capture card or anything like that. I'd like to actually play the game because I actually got I saw it got downloaded because I pre-ordered it, so I saw it got downloaded yesterday, and I got excited, like, oh, maybe they put it out early. When I tried to open it, it's like, no, you can't play this until the 10th. So maybe I'd play it a little bit on the stream. But anyway, that's just me talking. I don't even know. I can't guarantee anything, but I don't know how to do that. I guess I got to figure it out if Perry's going to do it eventually. But I'm catching up as well, chat. Jose says, Tomby, you remember the song "Will You Rape Me"? Oh, are you talking about the Meatloaf song? Yes, I do remember that. I'm trying to balance like catching up on the older comments and the ones coming in right now, because I didn't get to a lot of them. Let's play Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4. Yeah, I could do that. Do I have that? I think I have it. I'm not sure. I gotta hook up the PS4. I've been playing that demo of WarioWare to death. Yeah, Perry, that's exactly what Perry will play. He'll play classic NES games to start out with. Classic NES games. no skateboarder games allowed. Oh, that's what it was called. Yeah, right by the dashboard light was a classic tune. Yeah, that was interesting. I wanted that to be the Tom Brennan song of that arc, the arc that never dies. Can we have Mr. Tom B? Can we have Perry doing a stream? Perry cooking his own steak. Absolutely, yeah. We got it. We still got to do that spaghetti samurai thing. I'm gonna try to have that done over the break, so at least there'll be some content on Patreon, like spaghetti samurai and the Brazilian, and I would like to have those come out on the break because can't do the Brazilian on the stream for obvious reasons. But if I could toss those on Patreon, during the break, that'll be good. That'll fill some voids. But yeah, absolutely yes to the again, Perry's a kind of why I asked him about if they cook it on the Foreman grill. For those who don't know, Perry, geez, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 years ago now. Maybe it's longer. No, maybe it's 4 years ago. He went to Costco, and he bought a tomahawk ribeye, which Costco doesn't even have that often. They have it every now and again, and they're pretty expensive. And he treated himself because I think he got paid. Yeah, I think he got paid for something. Anyway, he got home and he put it right in the freezer, and then when he did cook it, he defrosted it and cooked it right in the George Foreman grill, which is just it kills anybody that's into steak. Sorry, vegans, but it just kills you if you do that. I gotta find that where you talk, because I want to see if we can animate that. When you get a tour of my house, I'm working on that. I gotta, again, the room I'm in here is half demoed, like literally there's no like half the roof is gone because I gotta have the contractor come back, and I couldn't like not to get too personal. I couldn't afford the whole thing because the estimate he gave me, it was high. So I couldn't do the demo. Sometimes if you know what you're doing, you could probably do the demolition yourself and get the contractor to do the rest. So I needed to change the ceiling in this room for a lot of reasons. And then while that's out, I wanted to make this a media room and install like speakers and stuff and cabling and stuff. And I kind of hit a wall with it where I couldn't, for various reasons. I had to put a stop on it, and then I'm gonna redo it. So eventually this room will be nice, and I'll take a video of it and show it, but definitely not now. No, not just salt and pepper. He put oregano and garlic on the steak. It was just disgusting. Ugh. Make Perry pay for the rest of the money. Yeah, he fucking should. There's gonna be a point too where I hope we can make something happen with this stream where it's like, it's what you do for a living. I'm not there yet by any means, but it'd be nice. But yeah, Perry should pay for some of that. What's to become of the paintings? They're all going to be auctioned. And I think I'm going to have a website up and running this week with auction information. That's another thing I want to get started over the break. I know we had a soft launch back in June, and a lot of people started bidding on things, but I for whatever reason, I think Perry ruining my laptop stifled that, because I had all my notes about the stuff in the laptop, and it just died. But the other thing about the laptop too, just this past Thursday, was it Thursday or Friday? Maybe it was Friday. I got a notice from Best Buy that the laptop was back in stock. It's been out of stock since June. The exact laptop I had that got doused with the champagne. And I wanted to say thank you to Garrett, who I don't think he's around, but Garrett and all the people that donated to the GoFundMe. Garrett set up a GoFundMe after the last TomB week show when the champagne went into my laptop and fried it, and it was like a month old. he was super sweet and did a GoFundMe for the laptop, and people donated, and it was nice. It was the exact, by the way, just about the exact price of the laptop with tax. So I finally was able to buy it this Friday, and it's coming this week because I've been without one since then. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody that participated in that, because so that'll be coming. It'll be nice to have a laptop again because I've been without one since then. I think I'm gonna open up the other one and just see what's inside, see how gross it is. Oh, Garrett is here. Well, thank you, Garrett. Thank you again for organizing that. That's really really sweet. I know Garrett's visiting family, so I don't expect him to be. Didn't expect you to be here for the whole 9 hours. You're clipping when he pissed his pants. Yeah, we'll see how that plays on social media. I don't. I didn't. Can you? Let's see if you can see it. What laptop? I got the Microsoft Surface 4, the one, and I got the highest end one, the one with 32 gigs of RAM and the terabyte SSD, and mainly because I wanted a computer that was made by Microsoft, because I've had a Samsung laptop, I've had other laptops that are just like, it works weird with like Windows 10 or whatever, and I wanted I've used the Surface tablet, and I'm not a big tablet guy, but I wanted the Surface laptop book, I originally thought I could run the stream off it. I couldn't. I don't think there's any laptop that I could run the stream natively on it, just because of how we run it specifically. So that's why so then, but I figured out how to do it, just going remotely. So that's what I want. And I wanted to get the same one that I had. So that's what I got. I'm not, and I don't know a lot about that. I'm more of a PC guy. Like I'm on a PC right now running the stream. Laminate it next time I'm around Perry. Yeah, I know. Fool me once. I'm not gonna make that same mistake again. I'm gonna have like a shield around me next time I'm at Perry's, like the Pope Mobile, like just like fiberglass complete encasing. Danko said the steak in Denny's looked like shit. Yeah, it looked pretty bad. Although I gotta say, if that was in front of me, I would have ate it at the time, because I'm ready to eat my fist at this point. I'm starving, because I haven't eaten since last night. And last night I had like I had sashimi last night, so it wasn't even that filling. TomB After Hours can afford to hire security. Yeah, I should have security guards surrounding me, or a longer reach taser. Yeah, but listen, I learned my lesson about that. Are we getting into politics? We don't. By the way, After Hours, we don't get into politics here. No politics. Politics on any side is cringe. Let's not do politics. Politics sucks. I don't want to talk about politics. Take that to another stream. Tom needs to go to. Yeah, there used to be a Denny's kind of near me, and they closed. Like, because there's so many other better options. Like they couldn't survive. And there was never a Denny's in New York. You had to go to like Jersey to get Denny's. Like, 'cause I grew up in Brooklyn, and I lived in the city for a while. There was never a Denny's. I think there's a Denny's in the city now, but it's like, who the fuck would go there? I'm gonna eat cereal. Yes, I'm gonna eat a bowl of cereal. That's exactly what I'm gonna have when I get off, which is gonna happen very shortly. The OCD in me wants to wait till 10 hours, but I don't know if I'll make 10 hours. No politics, just fuck people who voted for Biden. Well, that's one way to look at it. Uh, but yeah, we don't. Let's not. We don't do politics. Perry, I've said this before. Perry has completely turned me off to politics. He's completely turned me off. Completely. And I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm actually independent. I am not registered with either party. And I don't treat politics like sports. I hate people like that. You know, people that always go one way or the other. I'm always voting. It's so stupid treating politics like sports. I voted on both sides many times, but I barely voted last year. I don't see myself vote. I really don't even want to vote. I swear to God, I don't want to vote. I just don't give a flying fuck. What cereal am I gonna have? Well, I got my options here. I got Frosted Flakes, which is usually my go-to. I have regular Rice Krispies, and I have Cheerios, regular Cheerios. I might have one of those. It's a lame. I don't have a lot. I don't have a deep dive. I don't have a deep dive of cereal options. Oh, and I think I have. Shit. Do I have that still? I don't. I don't have cereal as often as I do. Oh, and I think I'm running low on milk. Fuck. I might have to go out and get milk. Shit. I gotta check how much milk I have. God damn it. Fuck. Now I might not have cereal. Shit. I gotta check my milk. I was running low. I did have a cup of tea before the stream, and I made a mental note like, "Ooh, we're running low on milk." And now I'm thinking I'm gonna have cereal, but I have no milk. Denny's was the only place that stayed open late night for dining last year. So, as far as I was concerned, until other places. Okay, I can see that. Look, by the way, Denny's is fine if that's your only option. You know. Tommy, Brooklyn has a basketball team. Will you cheer for us? Sure. Oh, I guess I'm not really a basketball guy. But if I had to pick, I gun in my head to pick a team. You know, I'd probably go with the Nets. Now that they're in Brooklyn, I'm glad they got a jersey. Stay home on Saturday, 9/11. I know. I might be in Atlantic City on Saturday. Because a friend of mine has a real big hair to go to see Guns N' Roses in Atlantic City again, which is crazy. I just saw them last month. And their tickets are extortionately high. Right now, there's no effing way I'm going with the prices the way they are. But if they plummet, I might go just to have like obviously we would do the stream on Friday. I'd go Saturday, come back, and then maybe do a stream on Sunday or maybe start the break after Friday. I don't know. Am I familiar with Scott's Pizza Tour? No, I'm not. Off to bed, great stream. Love PCL and After Hours was amazing. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, and thanks for all you do. I got to get back in touch with you. By the way, I haven't forgotten. I've just been slammed lately. Who watches the news? They all feed you. Yeah, I agree. Like don't watch the news. News is it's just whatever form of news you're watching, you're just getting. That's the one thing I like about Twitter, and you can say what you want about Twitter or like the internet is you can get direct feeds of things without people interpreting it for you, because that's all the news does is interpreting news that they hear elsewhere, and I think you have so many options now to get that news for yourself from the source without the puppet head interpretation. That's my 2 cents on news. And I used to work in the news industry. I worked for CNBC, and I worked on a show there. I was a writer for a show there. I kind of know, although it wasn't a news show, but I kind of know how I was in some of the meetings and stuff. I kind of know how the ideologies work. It's bullshit. Alex Jones is the only trustworthy source. Can I convince Perry to do your offer learning the troll toll song? Yeah, I think so. I think I can do that. I can get that to happen. The troll toll song. Yes, I can do that. Maybe for Wednesday. We don't do offers on Wednesday, but yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I'd have to play. I'd have to play it for him. I played it a little bit tonight. I didn't want to go too long to it with it because I didn't want to get a. If you go over like a certain amount, you'll get a copyright strike. I didn't want to get that, but Yeah, we can do that. He'll have to watch it a couple of times. I don't think he knew. There's no way he's ever seen. By the way, that's my all-time favorite episode of It's Always Sunny. And one of my biggest regrets in life was not seeing that live because they did tour with it. They played they did a limited tour. They played in New York. They played the Beacon Theater, and I didn't know about it until after it already happened. And I'm so bummed. So bummed. That I didn't see that. So yeah, we can do that. If you and Perry were on Survivor, how would you get him to the end? Imagine Perry like an angry thing, like Rudy Bosch. I think the secret to getting somebody to the end is on Survivor is basically. Oh, you never watched It's Always Sunny? Watch It's Always Sunny up until about season 10, and then it kind of dips off a little bit. But it's a fucking funny show, and I hate comedies. I hate sitcoms. So if I'm saying that, it's good. Perry on Survivor, you'd have to carry him to the end, like basically convince other people that you want Perry there because no one will vote for him in the end to win. So you kind of want to take somebody that's not going to get votes. So that would be my thing. I would carry. Again, Perry's not going to win any challenges. He's not getting any immunity challenges. But I would take him on award, the reward trips and stuff like that. Always Sunny characters have no arc. They never seem to learn. Even Perry's on an arc now. Yeah, that was true to a point, but now they seem to. In the past couple of seasons, they've gotten a little progressive, which is not good. You want those characters to be terrible. Joey Beck says, my favorite season is 7. But Seven's I got to agree with Joey. I think 7's the strongest season. But yeah, straight through, the Fat Mac episode is my second favorite episode. The first one where he's eating the chimichangas. I forget the name of the episode. Isn't that the one with Country Mac? That is so goddamn great. I like Fat Mac, and I liked Mac when he was gay, but didn't come out, wasn't coming out, and everybody's cool with it. You know what I mean? It was always funny where he pretended not to be, even though he clearly was. That was funny. But the way they did it is and I get it, the times are a-changing. Look, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia had 2 episodes where they were in blackface. And I think you can't even find them now on streaming. They probably written oh, this is a mistake, whatever. But the way they did it, I thought was funny because it was so offensive. Because these characters are so ignorant and stupid, and are so horrible. They're horrible. That they would do that and not be cognizant of it, not be cognizant that you can't do that, and that's what made it funny, not the fact that they were doing it, and not the fact they were wearing blackface. But now it's yeah. Will Perry celebrate Halloween this year? Absolutely. Whether he knows it or not. But It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if you've never seen it, the first season is a little weird because it doesn't have Danny DeVito, even though it's very good. It's very edgy. It really is. It's consistently funny. And I am a person I am a comedy snob, if you haven't gotten that impression. I hate stand-up comedy. I think all stand-up comics should die. I know that actually happened this week, but I hate stand-up and I hate sitcoms. I hate most sitcoms, but It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is straight out brilliant. Now they're doing another season and stuff. I also like that it's gone on and on and on. But they have gotten a little progressive. The thing I hate... Oh, sorry, I missed that. I got to catch up on the other side. But the thing I hate about it is, you don't want those characters to learn or to grow as people. It's great, even into their... the show started in their 30s, now they're deep into their 40s, and they're still, the same. Stand-up comedy is cringe. I agree. All stand-up comedy is cringe. With the exception of Norm Macdonald, maybe 1 or 2 others, all stand-up comics are horrible embarrassments, and you should not go see them or support them. But yeah, I don't watch any comedies. I still watch South Park. because I think South Park still, people say South Park should have ended years ago. I still find South Park funny. Not all the time. I don't like when they do musical episodes, but I don't watch sitcoms. I don't, except It's Always Sunny. It's a rare exception to the rule. Liz says, I agree. I dated a comedian. He was terrible. Did you? What? How did you date a comedian knowing that his material is terrible? Most comedians are terrible. I don't know Brendan Schwab. South Park has peaks and valleys. They'll have a bad season and then they'll come roaring back with something. You know what I mean? Like they're not all great. There was a period of time where they were all great, but even in recent years, they still have some great episodes. I don't watch TV anymore. I don't either. I watch YouTube pretty much, and Pluto TV, which I've talked about. Norm is the King, Game Decades. I don't get recommendations. They always suck. Yeah, I know. Somebody recommended a comedian to me fairly recently after talking about how much we hate comedians on After Hours, and I looked them up, and I just didn't want to. I don't get it. Like, it's just not me. I just think the whole concept. I feel like stand-up comedy is like late night TV, like late night talk shows. I feel like stand-up comedy is going to take a longer time. I think late night TV's got 10 years left, and then it's done. I think stand-up comedy is kind of on its way out too. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I just think it's a weird element of people that go to see stand-up if you're not going to see some headliner. It's just a very weird element. Liz, you met the boyfriend before you saw his stand-up. So what happened when you saw his stand-up and he was terrible? Oh, you meant he was a terrible person. Okay, I can see that. All comedians are terrible people. Any comedian I know or have known is a terrible person. Even the ones I kind of like. They're terrible human beings. They're selfish, and they're all about attention for themselves. They're terrible. I know, 7. I'm looking at the clock. I know, 7. We're going to 10 hours. They're all terrible. Even like the famous ones I've met. Terrible people. There's very few people I met. In fact, I'd have a hard time naming a comedian. And by a comedian, I mean a working comedian that gets paid very well for doing comedy, not some idiot that, does open mic here and there. I'm talking about a comedian where his career is comedian. They just love attention. That's why they're on stage. They're not on stage to tell you jokes, even Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan's an asshole, by the way. They're straight up narcissists. They only care about the attention. The laughter is like a drug to them. Their material to you, the audience, is secondary, or not even secondary, maybe even third. It's all about them feeling important and then getting attention. That's all they care. You thought I loved Joey Diaz. Yeah. I hate Louis C.K. Never liked Louis C.K. Never made me laugh. But, yeah. And I've done stand-up, and I felt dirty after doing it. Like, it's just like, Dave Chappelle's good, but he's in his own. He's almost in his own category. Greg Turkington. Oh, you worshiped for a decade, but he's not really a comedian. I don't even know who that is. Tennessee Ernie Tuxedo. Ugh, talk about a creepy fucking guy. Imagine how bored used to be. People would tell me jokes all the time. Yeah. Dane Cook. Everybody jokes about Dane Cook being terrible. I don't think I've seen 2 minutes of his stand-up. Stephen Wright is good. I like Stephen Wright. Early Stephen Wright. Bill Hicks, I think, is overrated. Stephen Wright, I like. Dave Attell, no. Bob Newhart, yes, but he's in a different category. Like, look, I always hate when people say, like, oh, who's your favorite comedian? Oh, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, and George Carlin. Yeah, of course, we know. Everybody, it's like Perry saying AC/DC. Everybody did that. Insomniac was a good show. I agree. I like that show too, but I never liked. And I've seen his stand up. In person. I just never found him funny. Brody Stevens, I just didn't know. I can't say. I think I saw him once at the Comedy Store, and he was fine. But I don't know enough about his material to be a judge, and then I would feel extra weird because he's no longer with us. So I don't. I know he has a huge following, but I can't speak one way or the other about it. Oh, we're talking about nice comedians. I wasn't talking about nice comedians. Are there nice comedians? Are there nice comedians? Did I ever get around to watching the Clifford movie? No, not gotten around to watch any movies. The only movies I've watched are movies I've seen before because I know what I'm in for. I haven't watched any new movies. No, I don't. I haven't had any time. John Mulaney is okay. Artie Lang is awful. I agree. He's a terrible stand-up. Terrible. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. And he's a good storyteller, but he just repeats the same shit over and over. You are nobody on Twitch. Eat a dick. You neck stroking. You should be replaced for Perry. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Well, you're here. So, by the way, how did you get into After Hours? You didn't pay your rent this month. I enjoy. Oh, the new Candyman movie. I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see. There's a very short list of nice comedians. There's a very short list of nice comedians. 2 minutes away from 10 hours. By the way, Trump is your favorite comedian. Trump has no punch. He's all set up. Oh, sorry, Joey. Did you ban that guy? That's that same guy. That's that same loser that comes in all the time. The same loser that is emailing Perry. The same that guy just rears his, and he's got the same fucking material every time. He doesn't change it up. Like you just know it's that same guy. I forget his name. Like whatever he goes by. Like it's the same shit every time. Then he creates a new account just to say that. Um, Dudes chopping up videos and making YouTube poop are more entertaining than any comedian. I agree with that, 100%. Have I watched What We Do in the Shadows? Yes, and I like the concept of it, but I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I didn't like the movie. I couldn't sit through it. I was watching with a girlfriend who loved it, and it's just I couldn't get into it. I had to stop it. I'm pretty liberal, but nobody can tell me that Trump wasn't hilarious. Yeah, he was funny. He is. I mean, he can lay into people pretty good. He gets repetitive though. That's the thing. You got to keep it fresh. But he had great into the names he came up with. People, I don't care where you fall on, crooked Hillary and all. And I think the best version of Trump politically is early on when he was a Republican candidate with all those other candidates, and everybody had no idea that well, some people did, but nobody had any idea that he was going to actually win the Republican nominee. So it was those very early debates where he was going again, and he had like low energy Jeb, and like he had a name for everybody. Lion, Ted Cruz. I mean, it was unbelievable. It made me laugh. It made me laugh. I don't care. Yeah, that's true. I don't care what your opinion on him is. We're not getting into politics, but you got to admit there was rants that he had that were fantastic, and even going back to when he would go on Stern and go again, like the Rosie O'Donnell thing. It was just like he is. I mean, you pull a knife on him, he's pulling a fucking bazooka out on you. You do not want to get on his bad side. Thank you, Tracy, for reminding me of the garbage. I'm going to do that immediately after this stream. And we made it. We made it to 10 hours. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on After Hours. We made it to the 10. It's officially a 10-hour stream. 9 hours with Perry. Allegedly, when Trump showed people on the White House, he showed the spot where Clinton had the thing with Monica Lewinsky. But yeah, most people that make me laugh now are not professional comedians or in comedy. You know that's it. And I think they're just garbage people. Perry's asleep. I'm not gonna call Perry. I'm not gonna push my luck. We got a lot of Perry today. I'm not gonna push my luck calling Perry. Ooh, Joey says I can have Perry do the Troll Toll song as Wario. I think that's what we go with. That's gonna be good. The stream's gonna be a long download. Tell me, it's gonna be a long effing upload too. I wonder what the file size on this is gonna be. I had to buy a huge external hard drive because my computer was going crazy keeping all these streams because they're just their thing. Have I seen Yucko the Clown? No, I've only heard him on Stern. I never saw his stand up. I don't like gimmick comics. I think that belongs in the 80s. Character comics. I don't think that has a thing. Like Emo Phillips, Bobcat Goldthwait. These guys. Dice to a certain extent, even though I think the lines are blurred there. Perry's a pro comedian. He made you laugh harder than anyone when he pissed off. That's true. Perry makes me laugh, and you're right. He is a comedian. Comedians I like, Perry. That is a thing. I'm gonna read the rude message everybody wants to read. I'm not there yet in the scroll. I'm scrolling, catching up on stuff. When I get to it, I'll read it. It's the same guy. I forget his name. It's the same guy. He's like this. I guarantee you, I had some history with this guy at one point a few years ago because he's definitely from Europe, right? I know things about him because people have sent me things about this guy. He's this closeted guy. He's really into guys' feet. I got to see his private Twitter at one point, and it was really cringe. Like he's like talking about guys' feet and stuff, and how he hasn't been into a guy in a long. I don't want to get into too many, go down the rabbit hole with that, but he's a very deranged guy. He sent me every now and then. He sends me threats. He doxes, not doxes Perry, but he contacts Perry to tell him like, "Hey, Perry, even years ago, Big Three are scamming you. JQA isn't real, and they're just tricking you, and Tom isn't really this or Tom isn't really that, and it's and then once Perry Caravello Live started, then it was just like, hey, Tom is scamming you, and he's only giving you this, and just making up nonsense, and but he's like, I've screenshotted shit. Like he's like threatened to talk about threatening to kill. Like he's like oh, you and your family should die. So I guarantee you there's some kind of thing. There's some kind of history there that I don't know. Like I must have, because I have the tendency, especially in the past, when I first started working with Perry, I was a bit of an asshole. Not an asshole like I'm an asshole, but I was very aggressive, and like, wow, because there was so many people messing with Perry when I first got involved with him, and I kicked people to the curb, and I'd be like, hey, get the fuck out of here, like stop doing what you're doing, whatever. And a couple of people took it very still hold that grudge. I think this is one of those guys for whatever reason, and just has some kind of thing. But he's a total friggin' weirdo, loose cannon. Probably not even somebody I want to be talking about. But if you scroll enough on the internet, you've probably seen rants that he's made and stuff like that. It's just it's laughable. And he's got a couple of cronies that buy into his bullshit. But it's literally like two or three guys talking to themselves. I don't get foot fetish either. I've never been into feet. Like I don't kink shame. I don't judge other people for their fetishes. You're into whatever you're into. We're all into different stuff, and that's fine. But I don't get feet. I don't get it. Feet do nothing for me. I mean, you don't want to look at ugly feet, but feet do nothing for me. Bugs Next. Have I ever watched Joker 2019? There's a comedian shown in a really small part of the movie that was actually really funny. Was that Jim Norton? I know he was in that. Yeah, I watched Joker. I think Joker's very overrated. I think I've talked about that. I think it's derivative of better things, but it's fine. But I didn't get the overall praise. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. There's so many other body parts to be into. Why would you be into feet, especially on like gross one? Like some people are into like dirty feet. Like it gets really strange. Some people are into shoes. Um, I'm still playing like mental tennis with catching up on the chat versus what's going on now. Perry's not a. Is Wiki Feet a thing? I don't even know that. Oh, cool. Watched the Black Hole on my recommendation on Disney. Great movie. Yeah, look, Black Hole's a great like B movie, classic B movie with a high budget because it came out after Star Wars. It's a Disney movie, but it's got a really good cast, and it's. I remember seeing it as a kid and being really fascinated by it, like really scared of it. Actually, got a great soundtrack too. Black Hole. Oh, Gary Goldman. Yeah, Gary Goldman's okay. No, I'm still starving, Liz. I'm gonna wrap. I'm seriously. I'm really. I know I said this. I really am wrapping up. But I don't think I have any options. I think I'm just gonna have some like cheese or something. I'll see what I have in the fridge. TomB, was there some Vegas talk in there as a date set? No, no date for Vegas. It's a weird time to be in Vegas now. It's like you got to wear masks everywhere indoors. You got to wait till this fucking Delta bullshit gets sorted out. Uber Eats for TomB. There's no. I mean, there's nothing. There's not. I don't think there's anything open. I mean, you got like Taco Bell and McDonald's, which I don't. I don't know. We'll figure. So I'll see. I'll see what I got. Oh, can I, Joey? If you did you boot that dude? Because I can't find now. I can't find that stupid comment. I'm looking for it. Scariest children's movie is a good question. I don't know the. I was always freaked out by the original Witch Mountain with what's her name? Kim Richards, I think, is in it. Um, I was always freaked out by that with Eddie Albert. Escape from Witch Mountain. It was always on like Saturday mornings or Saturday like late or late morning, early afternoon. You know what? No, I'm not a Smash Brothers player. I never got into the Smash Brothers series, and you'd figure I would be because I love Nintendo. I love those characters. I don't like seeing Mario fighting. I don't like seeing Mario fighting Link or like Samus fighting Luigi or whatever. I don't like that. I think I must admit I'm scrolling to get this stupid comment. I can't see it now. Return to Oz is very creepy. Oh, okay? Joey sent the screenshot. Cool. That makes my life easier. Uh, so yeah, and you can tell he's European too by the way he phrases it. So this was that thing. How about Watcher in the Woods with Betty Davis? I never saw it, but I know a lot of people say that's creepy. Um, so the deleted comment. So I think Joey, you ban. This is obviously a ban, right? OG Techno Viking. So this is always the first line he says because he writes it on YouTube. He'll be on Reddit or something like that, and he'll always say the same shit. It's like if you got some new material, you might be able to pass off as somebody else. But he always starts off with "You are nobody," so that or "You are a nobody," and it's always an insta block or whatever. But it's like this guy that has this hard on for me, maybe literally. You are nobody sitting on Twitch to 200 people. And is that a slam? Like you're looking at a screen. I think 200 people is pretty good. And for the most of it, okay, ban. Most of the time we were well over. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that would kill for 200. You know, there's some people out there that can't get out of single digits. Okay, I'm talking shit, and then he says, "Eat a dick." That's the other thing he says. Eat a dick all the time. I don't know what that means. Is there something wrong with eating a dick? You know, if you're into that, that's fine. I'm not. I'm not Perry. I'm whatever you're into. Eat a dick, neckbeard, stroking nobodies. He mentions nobody more than once, so he really wants to get that nobody thing across, and that's how I know it's this guy because he always does this. He always says the nobody thing, like in messages or whatever, or posting on whatever fucking weirdo troll forum. You should be replaced for Perry's show, and the energy you put in is so weak. So my energy that I put into the stream is weak. Make it so obvious it's all a skit. Shut the fuck up. What does that mean that it's all a skit? Meaning, like, so everything tonight was a skit and rehearsal. I gotta get it. Can I open the can I open the OnlyFans and post my toast? Yeah, maybe. I have access to OnlyFans. There's like one person left on OnlyFans, by the way, that like still pays the $5 a month or whatever to Perry's OnlyFans. I could post there. If you guys want to see my feed, I'll happily post it there. But it's going to be a pay-per-view. But anyway, it's the same guy. It's the same dude. Whatever. He's in the feet. So if you find him online, send him pictures of dude's feet. That's what he's into. But he's definitely some European dude. It's weird. He's definitely unstable. You don't want to mess with unstable people. And I know you're right. I'm giving it too much attention, but I don't like to. I don't want to just like ban somebody and like not address it. Because if somebody shits on something in the stream, I'll usually bring it up. If I catch it in the moment, there's nothing else going on, I'll bring it up. And I have a pretty thick skin. I don't. It's you can say whatever you want. Cha-cha. Oh, it's Dan Barney. I doubt it. I have okay feet though. I think so. I'm looking at them now. If you're into that, hit me up. Slip into my DMs. I'll send you my feet. I'm not shy. The guy's like Kathy Bates from Mystery. He's talking. Yeah, and that's where you got to pause for concern, because I've got messages from this same guy, and again, I will bet my life on it that's the same guy that just writes me constantly. Not constantly, but every few months, this guy just can't stand it, especially if there's activity going on with Perry. He just can't stand it. And what he does is he sends me a message, and then the second later, he blocks me so I can't respond, which is, who cares? I'm not going to respond anyway. But he does this weird move. And then every now and then he'll say like a bad word or something like that, and I'll report him and then get his Twitter account taken care of or something like that, which is petty. But sometimes sometimes I'm a little petty Roosevelt. Do they have freckles on my? I don't have any freckles on my feet, Liz. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't think so. I'm looking at them right now. Oh, no, that's not true. I do. I have a couple. More on the left foot than on the right foot. If we're getting back again. By the way, I'm very grateful to have over 200 people still hanging on to this thing 10 hours in, and Perry left over an hour ago. That's pretty good. Pretty good. His English isn't great. No, he's been on the PCL subreddit because he's not on there anymore. But he was on. I haven't looked at that in a while, but I know he was on. He definitely was, because he sent me a very angry message when he was booted. So he definitely was. Raccoon Money. Perry gets a nice steak dinner. Tom gets cheese. PCL all the way. I know. Whatever. I'll eat something tomorrow. It's just the options are so limited. There's like some 24-hour diners, but I don't feel like going to I'm not driving to a diner. I'm not driving anywhere. And like Perry said, it is bad to eat at this time, and I have legitimately been trying to like stay somewhat healthy. So we'll see. Um, how's Perry snoring? Perry doesn't snore, but he talks in his sleep, and I know that because when I was at his place back in June, and I was cleaning and like maintaining that area by his couch and like really busting my ass for like 3 hours straight. He went to, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit while you do that. He didn't help at all. And then he started sleeping, and I could hear him mumbling to himself, like, oh, and I can hear him sleeping. I still got to go through that tape. People have been asking me about this. Danko says he forgets to eat too. I forget to eat all the time, especially because I work a lot. I have another job like that I do during the week, so it's hard to remember. And I normally don't eat breakfast anymore because I don't wake up hungry, and I can't eat when I'm not hungry. And the problem is when you do that, you fall into bad habits. So I'll eat like one meal a day, but it'll be a big meal, and I'll overeat or something like that, and I'll carb it up or something. I'm not trying to do that now, but I'm not a snacker. There's the secret. One of the secrets to losing weight or staying somewhat trim is snack little things during the day. I can't do that. I've never been a snacker. I'm a meal eater, and I do love food, and I do love drinking and stuff, but I haven't been drinking a lot. It's tough, and I'll just forget to eat because I'll work, especially if I'm working on other things, like my other job. Let's say, I was doing that. I was trying to catch up on it yesterday, and I'm writing something, and I was writing all day yesterday, and I plowed through lunchtime, and I was hungry, but I have this thing where. And I don't know if you guys have this, where it's like whatever you're working on, if I break away from this now, if I break away from doing this thing I'm locked into and I'm laser focused and eat, I'll never get back to this moment that I'm in right now where I can bang it out. Because if I get back to it, I'll have to catch my brain up on like where was I when I left, and getting back to it, I get like nervous about. So I just plow through it, and to my detriment. And then I'll finish it, and then by the time I'm finished, it's too late to get anything good. Although last night I got lucky with Japanese, but it's a fucking vicious thing. But anyway, talking about Perry's sleep, talking in his sleep, there's that tape that I have of him, with Hero slash Spooky Sammy's package that was going off, and I was pulling audio, and there's a lot of bits on that where he talks and like fuck, he's like mumbling in his sleep. I still gotta go through that, but yeah. And Liz says yes, busy and stressed. Yeah, and I never got stressed. I've been stressed in recent years. A lot of it because of Perry, to be honest. So yeah. And Hannah says I have a young brain. I think that's true. I do. Like, yeah, I've never really gotten out of that like 20 something mentality. I can't adult regulate, it's a problem. Perry called me on it earlier. He said, you like to eat late. It's not true. I don't always like to eat late, but there was a period of time where I was, because I would just work straight through, and then I wouldn't eat till like 9, 10 o'clock, and that's terrible. So it's a thing. It's a thing that I got to really figure out, and I was doing, when I was really getting myself in good shape, I was doing like protein shakes during the afternoon, and that would fill me up for a while. I got to get back to doing that and stuff. So yeah, I'll try to go through that tape. It's a pain in the ass to go through, but there's other little bleeps and bloops, like him yelling at the there was like a knock sound effect, and it would be like, he'd be like, shut the fuck up, Jagoff, I'm sleeping. Goddamn motherfucker. And then like there was something about, I don't know. I can't do it verbatim, but he was yeah, Cha-Cha, you're very good about that. You're right. I need to eat regularly. I'm a child on that point. I admit I am not good with that. I'm not good at eating regularly. It's bad, especially with the schedule. The PCL, on top of especially on a Wednesday. Like Wednesday's really tough for me because I work during the day, and then switch over to PCL. It's tough to squeeze in a meal there, and then the stream goes late, and then I'm screwed the next day. My sleep schedule's weird. Like, look, it's like 1:30 at night. It's not that bad, but yeah, I'm like a zombie. I'm sure Joey can attest because Joey and I were in the same position today. We both slept till like noon today, and I know that because we talked about it, not because we slept in the same bed. But I was zonked. And also, Saturday is kind of a recovery day for me because I'm usually pretty worn out from Friday, and then tomorrow will be kind of a lost cause because I'll be worn out from this, and then So anyway, I'm going to enjoy the break a little bit. It'll just be, have your girlfriend regularly. I don't know what you're talking about. It's complicated. Is there footage of Perry eating the spicy? No, he didn't do it. I told him to film eating the chicken sandwich, and he just ate it. And somebody asked earlier, would I be willing to share a hotel room with Perry? No. I think when you get to a certain age, I don't care what your finances are. When you get to a certain age, you no longer bunk with people in hotels. You can't do it. Unless it's like a guy-girl situation and maybe you can get something going on. That's different. But two guys, look, when I was in my 20s and even 30s, young early 30s, and I take a lot of trips with friends. We go to a city or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, let's get a hotel together. Get two bed, obviously two beds and share a room. You don't do that when you're past a certain age. I was like, no, you know what? I'm old enough now. I can get my own room. You get your own room. I'm not sharing no room with a guy. And it's not like it's nothing to do with like gay thing. It's just a privacy thing. You're an adult. Those are things you do when you're younger. In fact, I would even crash with friends. Oh, I have a hotel room. You can just crash. They get the wheel of the bed. I don't do that anymore. Get your own room. But certain situations change that. Where everything is situational, right? So there could be a time where you could be somewhere and a hotel, like whatever, there's a convention in town and the price for hotel rooms are like $1,000 a night and your only option is to flop with somebody. That's different. Okay, that's different. There's always exceptions, but for the most part, just get your own room. And there's a lot of those things where when you get older, you just don't do those things anymore. It's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. To be honest with you, drugs is that thing for me. Like, once you're over 40, I think drugs quit you. I think you should be done with it. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm not talking about smoking pot or anything. That's different. I'm talking if you do the occasional like cocaine or something like that, whatever. And no judgments. If you do that, that's fine. But I think if you're over 40 doing that, I think it's a little weird, personally. Recreational drug, it's like, okay, it's time to grow up. You have to have your shit together when you turn 40, when you're entering your 40s. That's my opinion, though. Yeah, and other people may disagree. That's just my opinion from my experience. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I don't sleep well in other people's houses either, and that's an issue I have when I'm in town visiting something. I'd much rather get a hotel, even though it's expensive. Like, I have friends in LA, like, oh, you could stay with me in the spare room, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to stay with you. I want to be able to wake up in the middle of the night and watch TV if I want to. I want to wake up in the middle of the night and, like, get a drink or something like that. Hit the minibar or something, not a drink, but, like, get whatever. And I want to be able to I want to be able to sleep in and not. This is what I hate about staying at somebody else's house. When I'm sleeping in or whatever, and then you can hear them like they're starting their day or they're early risers, and you could tell like they're up and like whatever, like your friends, and they're your friends, no big deal. You can walk out, but I'm like, I'm in my pajamas, my hair's all messed up, and it's like 10 a.m. and I'm just getting up, and this is awkward. I gotta open up the door and come out, and it's like, you don't have to worry about any of that bullshit in a hotel. You can do whatever you want, and I like that. I like that. So, TomB, you the man. Shout out from New Orleans. Hey, how are you doing with the storm aftermath? Hopefully you're okay. Misery Pimp, Tom, you're my homie. You're mine too. Everybody in here is my own. Everybody in here gets free lifetime After Hours premium subscriptions. Everybody. That's how much I like you guys. I wake up before anyone in the house, and it's oh yeah, that's true too, Rick. If you wake up earlier than anybody else, that's actually even worse. That's actually even worse. He walks around like Richard's dad at Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, that's a great reference. Yes. Can we have a dunk tank at the PCL Live event and make the dunk tank sign target so big that it's impossible to miss? That's a great idea. Where's this venue? Where's this venue we're gonna have? Start researching venues now. I don't like looking at people most of the time now that I'm older. I know. That's one thing that the pandemic, there's certain things from the pandemic that I want to stay, and avoiding people is one of them. I've really enjoyed this past year and a half of social distancing, and, there's certain friends I haven't seen I'd like to see, whatever. But, yeah, I'm okay with not being around people either. I've been very, like, this has been my least social summer ever. For a lot of reasons, moving and doing this and everything like that. I've not been so I don't go out. I very rarely go out. Like I had a friend come in. A couple of friends have come into town to visit, and I've gone out of my way to see them and gone out. But apart from that, not much. I went to that Guns N' Roses concert. That was a blip on the radar of otherwise flat line of doing nothing. I'm going a little stir crazy, to be honest with you. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I should get out and get some fresh air because I've been home for so long. And not to sound like Perry, but I just needed to get out. I walked around last night and I saw like there was a fireworks show at this park near me, and it was kind of cool to see that. But I was just like, I had my headphones on and I was just like kind of walking around the neighborhood. I just needed to get out and get some fresh air because I was like, I haven't really been out and about in a couple of days, and it's getting a little. I'm getting a little fun. I'm getting into this funk that doesn't feel right. Not depression or anything like that. I thankfully don't get depressed. I have been in my life, but not currently. Thankfully, I was gonna have Perry read this. I decided against it because it was just a little too personal. But this person wrote Perry this really long email about how I'm going to dance around it because I'm not going to say the guy's name or anything like that. But anyway, long story short, this guy wrote Perry just thanking him for PCL, and that this person found PCL back, I think, in March, and has been watching it a lot. And he had attempted suicide back in February or something like that because he had a rough year, and like he was basically just saying how I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me, but he was saying how PCL, Caravello Live, has like, it sounds so silly to articulate, but the guy was really sincere about it. He was saying it's gotten him through a lot of hard times, and it's like basically given him a reason to live, and made him happy in a lot of things. And his life has changed outside of that, but that watching Perry on his streams, and he's like I know you get worked up and everything, and I know people like trigger you, but you make me so happy. And it's like I plan my whole week around you, and my and things are better. Things are so much better for him now. I'm not saying it's all because of Perry Carroll for Alive. It's a very long email. He goes into great detail about like things in his personal life and stuff, and I thought it was really sweet. And Perry called me. He's like, "Yeah, I got this email. It was nice." And then I called him up, and it's so Perry because this guy wrote this really long email, and he read it to me over the phone, and then I asked him to take a screenshot of it for me. What was I thinking? We turned it to Tech Talk. How do I do that exactly? Oh, can you pull it up on your phone? It's easy to do on your phone. Screenshot settings. Forget it, Perry. Just forward me the email so I can see it. And I'm sorry if that person's watching. I really didn't mean to invade your privacy in any way. I was just curious to read it. And Perry forwarded that and his response. So I'll tell you before I get to Perry's response. I'll tell you, the guy was just basically saying that Perry Caravello really pulled him out of a depression, and it made him, it just made him happy. It just made him happy, and the suicidal thoughts are gone, and it just gives him. He was really happy that he found the stream, and I'm trying to figure it out, but Perry well enough now. I can't. I was trying to see if I had it on my phone. I don't. But Perry, cried. So I was expecting like the response to be, pretty deep from Perry, and I, as deep as Perry can get. Like, thank you so much for being a fan or whatever. Because the guy really poured his heart out, and yeah, that's nice to say. If he's here, I love you. Yeah, we all love you, man. It's like everybody goes through shit. It's like don't. And that's what I like about this community. It's like everybody's friends here. Everybody's cool with each other. Everybody, this is a very unique bunch, and I'm very gratified if PCL help pull you out of something or whatever, and not to be cavalier about it, because like there's certain things I'm not going to bring up, but about this, but yeah, he literally said that Perry Caravello Live saved him, and that's incredible, and that goes out to everybody here that makes the stream what it is, because without you guys, this stream would be garbage. You'd be listening. If it wasn't for you guys, this stream would be Perry talking about the weather. If it wasn't for Joey, if it wasn't for Hero, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for Scott. A lot of other people, Garrett, that pull this thing together, and what we've created. And I say we, because we did. It's evolved, and it's still evolving. And to know that it made somebody's life like that, it was just. I got. I'm choked up now talking about it. I really got choked up reading it. And Perry's like talking. He's like, "All right, so I'm gonna go out and I'm like, Perry, I'm still reading this. I'm sorry." And then anyway, let me cut to the punchline. So I look for Perry's response, and Perry's response was, "THX, thanks." That's all. 3 letters. Couldn't even spell out thanks. Just wrote THX to this long email, like really long email. And the guy like poured his heart out to Perry, basically writing the very person that has saved him, writing the person that makes him laugh and smile and has pulled him out of the depths of despair. And what do you get in return? THX. I lost it. I was like, that's what you wrote back to this guy? That's what you wrote back? That's what you decided? This guy poured his heart out to you? Yeah, I told him thanks. It was a nice letter, he said. I was like, Perry. And I made him do a better reply. I said, you get in front of that computer right now and you write this guy, tell him how much you respect. I mean, it was so dismissive in a way. So I made Perry write, and I made him proofread it to me before he sent it. So it was like, here's a guy that basically had his life saved by Perry, and all of us. So, I'll include us in that. And then he's like, THX. I hate THX, by the way. He's like, how what are you doing typing THX? Give me a break. At least it wasn't Cool Story, bro. I know, but that's so Perry. It's so Perry. Because he has no reading. I don't know if he read the whole thing. I was like, oh my God. And this guy was like telling him about his personal life, about his family, about his girlfriends. I'm not going into details again out of respect, but it was heavy. And the guy, and he's one of these people. He's like, I'm too shy. He's like, I've sent in a couple of comments. He's like, I've never done Subscriber Sunday. He's like Tracy. He doesn't want to do. Too shy to do the phone call thing, which is fine. But he's like, I kind of just lurk in there. I kind of just watch it, and where he's located. Sometimes it's too late for him, and he'll listen to it on his phone, and it's just, yeah, okay, it's not, And I was like, Perry, that's a better response. Do you understand what this guy's telling you? Do you understand? He's like, yeah, all right, yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm honored. Honestly, frankly, I'm honored. And and I was like, yeah, that should have been the first reaction. He read the first sentence and responded to three characters. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that fan is still with us too, and maybe others who don't share it. I know, like everybody, I have a thick skin. I'm pretty private, like so. I'm never gonna be the kind. Like there's some people that even stream or whatever, and they'll tell you like, man, I'm really depressed this week. I'm not feeling great. I've I'll never be that person. I always put on a face, even if it's not fake. Not that I'm phony or disingenuous, but I'm not. I don't share with people, even friends of mine, if I'm feeling off, and putting on some kind of, like, if I have to go out and be social and I'm not feeling it, I'm in a funk. I have to do so much work to get myself to be social, and I almost feel like I'm putting on this mask or whatever to appease other people. But they won't know the difference, I don't think. And I'm never going to be like, guys, I'm not feeling this tonight or whatever. And I think there's a lot of people that are like that. But if you are, if you're depressed, right, especially if you have any kind of community going on, especially community like this, I think you have people that love the fact that you're here, and we're all into the same thing. We're all laughing at the same thing. We're all enjoying the same thing. We're all taking pleasure in the same thing. So you have a support system, which a lot of people don't have. But honestly, if there's people out there that have that issue, if you're depressed, whatever, I'd love to hear from you. Don't be afraid to write me or Perry, for that matter, or anybody, any one of us, like anybody, even in the chat, moderate, please, write, if you have the ball. And I think what this guy took balls. This guy's way more courageous than I've ever been, because I would never write something like that to somebody. I'd be too ashamed. I'd be ashamed of feeling like I have a shame of feeling emotion sometimes. And somebody wrote that's the Irish way, and it is an Irish thing where you almost hold your emotions hostage because you feel shame about them. And I've definitely had that in my life, where I've even in a relationship, like I've had a hard time giving a part of myself that you have to give in a relationship, because I feel shame. Like, someone's like Mr. Spock from Star Trek. I feel one of my favorite lines from Star Trek is Spock in one episode. He has some kind of he has one of those episodes where Spock has some emotional breakthrough, and when he which is rare, and when he's talking to Captain Kirk, and he's like, when I express friendship to you, I feel shame. And in a weird way, I understand that. Not that I'm a Vulcan or completely emotionless. I'm not. But I do, like, even when I'm in a movie and a movie is emotionally affecting me, I have to, like, if I'm like welling up or something like that, God forbid somebody else near me is even seeing that happen. I am sucking that up so hard and biting my inner lip and pretending that's not happening, because I would be embarrassed, even if it's one of my closest friends, so it's strange. So anyway, so I a long way to say, I have a lot of respect for people that can admit what's going on with them in their lives, and I give enormous credit to this guy who wrote to Perry, and I'm sorry that he got that that 3-letter response. You're out. Thanks for the awesome stream. After hour. Good night. Good night. Yeah. Good night. I know. I'm not gonna say I'm leaving anymore. This is 10 hours for you. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Thing. Hard to notice, but Perry's been part of a lot of people's life for a decade as a source of tapping in conversation with friends. Glad he's still around doing, and this is a great thing. I agree with that. I appreciate that. I take some edibles to calm him down. I live in fear. I live in fear of Perry taking edibles. I have a pretty good stockpile of edibles that I got in California when I was out there. A friend of mine got them for me, so I use them to sleep. I don't think I'm going to use it tonight, though. Rick says Perry basically forgot about Chris Wolf the minute you told him about what happened. I know, and that's him. Sometimes you'll catch him, sometimes you won't. And again, don't look at Perry on the stream as like the real Perry. Whatever. Not that he's not real, but he's got a lot. He's focusing on the stream, and sometimes he doesn't absorb things. But we did talk about Chris after, like the next day, or whatever, and I said, hey, I just mentioned, it's a bummer. I mean, bummer is such a dismissive word, but it's like, somebody who was a fan, somebody who like supported the stream, somebody who was like a part of the stream, like Chris, is no longer. And I don't know what happened with Chris. I don't know the details, but yeah, it's rough. I'm a school counselor and I run an emotional counseling program at a large international school, and I hear and see a lot of pain, but PCL and a lot of things Perry help bring joy and laughter in my heart. The students can feel my happiness. So it's great that you're both doing that for the world. That's really awesome. That's really sweet of you to say. I wish people wouldn't trash the callers. Yeah, I don't think that doesn't go on as much though. I didn't see any of that today. And if anybody that did, I think I think the callers have been great. I think the callers have been great. I don't see that as much. And and if people do, call them out on it. Call them out on it. Embarrass them a little bit. Like, hey, you know what? Why don't you try to do it? You're typing ZZZ. Why don't you put your number in and see how well you do? No joke, PCL is something I talk to my coworkers about. I hear that a lot, like people turning their coworkers onto it. Denko, I'm catching up on some older chat. Denko said, "Is Perry so selfish and ungrateful? It's just self-centered, or is it inability to understand?" Silly Perry has cracked radio. It's a little bit of both. To be honest with you, I think his ability to understand is not, if you spend a lot of time, he will understand, but I don't have a lot of time on the stream to talk sense at a part where I have to talk sense. So sometimes it takes him a little longer. You know what I mean? Like to get it. And we don't have the time on the stream. The stream is kind of fast paced, or, tries to be. So there's some things that just zoom over his head because he's focused on other things. Like, look at that peg for the stupid door tonight. He's thinking about that. Like, we could be 3 comments deep and he's still thinking about the peg, So that's it. I told everyone about PCL, even my mom. She works doing social work for a lot of Perrys. That's interesting. But he's also, he does have a selfish quality to him, with certain things. But he has a generous quality too, and other things. I mean, I get my tips for TomB, that's for sure. And by the way, I would fucking make sure I would get those anyway, but he's very good about stuff like that. I've been getting bored with Twitch lately. I heard other people talking about this stream on another channel and decided to check it out. I'd never laughed so hard in my life. I do wish certain things were different about the stream, but everybody here has made it. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely things I wish were different too, but I appreciate that. Yeah, look, here's the thing about the streams. Everybody is not going to love every single minute of a 10-hour stream. Okay, there's going to be certain things you don't like, certain things that make you laugh, some things that don't make you laugh. It's just if we all come together at the end of the day, I hate saying at the end of the day, it's such a trope, but if we all come together if you like 80% of it, and then take the 20% and whatever. Maybe we work on that, whatever areas that is, and take from that. But if you like more than half of it, you're winning, right? So that's how I look at it. But yeah, everybody. That's what I like too. Is like everybody here, everybody in this community. We're not all cut from the same cloth in what makes us laugh. I know I can be a prick about my comedy snobbery, but that's something that we can come together on. Is like, okay, maybe you don't like let's say, okay, I'm sick of Ricky Horny. I don't like the 92 story. I'm not saying me first person, although I don't like the 92 story, to be perfectly honest with you. But there's things I don't. There's definitely things I don't like. There's patterns that come up that I don't like, or not that I don't like, that I'm just not as into. But there's other things that I do. And I think if you're like that, if you could pick out the things that you do, not focus so much on the things that you don't, because they don't stay that long. They'll move on and whatever they'll change. I think you can come to that point. Whatever. That's my weird philosophy about it. Is because I get that. People kind of like, oh, I really don't like this about the stream, and yeah, what you don't like could be a temporary thing, or whatever. But I get that because I'm the same way, and I'm more critical than anybody. Trust me. The next day when I'm thinking about like, I could have done this better. I wish that would have gone better. Kira says more shop vac could solve some issues. Sometimes I think it's too much shop vac. Like, I'll tell you what I didn't like. I accepted it because Perry was getting paid. I didn't like Perry shop vaccing the Taco Bell sauce. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? I thought it was unbecoming of a shop vac offer. Because it was just lame. I think we'd evolved past the shop vac has to be for extraordinary things, and I thought that was so basic, or like so like I was like, are we really doing this? And I was doing it because it's like, what am I going to turn down? He was getting whatever he got for it, like $25. Am I going to kick that out of bed? But as somebody, and Joey, I'm sure, has gone to bed by now, but he's very good at weeding out offers or whatever that and I don't like to be repetitive, but I was like right after I was like, are we doing this? I know I can't believe he gave away the leaf blower either, although it stayed there for a long time. We did get the Luigi's Mansion bit out of it. We can always get him another one. I'm sure DSP's henchman has one laying around. Oh, that's because he hid the 4 burger. Yeah, I know. The 4 burger scam was also the same night. Oh, you're here. Sorry. I thought you went to bed. Fuck. Okay. Sorry. You're here. Yeah, I was saying Joey's very good at, like, he doesn't filter me everything. And Joey's become a very good producer in that sense, where he knows, because I don't like to be repetitive about things. We just did, and there's a lot of times, like, we just did that. Like, even the egg thing, just like, I'm saving that for Wednesdays now, like, because there's people that are like, oh, can you do something with eggs? I'm like, let's just keep that to Wednesdays for now, and we'll see what happens. If something, I would like to see the Wario thing come up, and I'm trying to brainstorm like real life Wario micro games right now for Friday, and it's proving difficult because I don't want to do things that he's already done or we've already done. First time we ever saw Perry was on Kimmel, promoting it when he said okay, so that's 2006. I said it before, but I'm so happy with Perry in his current state. Like, he's become a better person. He's really growing up, shredding a religion and becoming humbled. He's learned mostly the errors of his ways. I'm hoping Perry gets to live a happily ever after if things continue to go that way. Thank you. I agree. He has become, and that wasn't an easy thing. Like, him getting away from the Jehovah's Witnesses, make no mistake, that was not an easy thing, and that was not me pulling him away from it, because I always drew a line there where there's a moral compass you have to live by, and morally, even though I think it's a cult and it's not a religion, the decision had to be his. Much like anything on PCL, like the tattoo and everything, like he's like, Perry, we got $2,000. You are going to be strapped down in Vegas, and you're getting that removed against your will. That's never going to happen. It's got to be of your own free will. So I think he saw things that they were doing, and that was right at the time too when PCL was first started really picking up momentum, and it was becoming something that was actually helping him. He was almost caught up on his back rent, which he was fucking crazy backed up. I'm sorry for cursing on After Hours, but he was crazy backed up on rent. And even though I tried to keep afloat as much as possible, it was really hard, and they weren't helping him at all. And I think he saw that, and they were basically making him walk away from this. You have to end Perry Caravello alive. You have to get off social media, and you have to dedicate yourself to Jehovah God and the witnesses, and atone and walk away from this, that, and the other thing. And they said that to him in the past, even when he was doing Big 3 stuff. Like they always say, oh, you have to get away from that, and then but it really came down to it, and he chose PCL. That was his choice. That was his choice. So, a lot of credit where it's due, and he has become a better person. Like I'll tell you this. He had a cameo the other day from two guys that got engaged and were getting married, and he left. He gave them a cameo, and he gave them a nice cameo. I don't know if it's public or not. It might be on his cameo page, but he actually said like, all right, dude, like it took him a minute to like because I review the cameos before he sends them out, because if they're bad, I'll have him redo them. But he was like, whatever their names were. He's like, you're getting married and engaged. Well, you're two guys. So you're husband and husband? He's like, all right, well, have a good wedding. Honestly, have a good wedding. All right. And he gave advice. He gave marriage advice to them, and he asked to be a part of the. He's like, you want to invite me to the wedding? I'll even go. Thank you for being fans of my streams. And it was gratifying to me that he did that without me needling him to do it. No, he didn't drop any bad words or anything like that. He just did it, and it was great. It was nice. And that stuff is gratifying to me. It's very gratifying because he's been deprogrammed a lot from a lot of those things, and so yeah, you might be able to find. I don't know if some cameos are private, some are public. You might be able to find it on his cameo page. But, a lot of that stuff that he had ingrained in him, that was all like brainwashing, like Jehovah's Witness bullshit. So, he has evolved and in that way. And I know that probably is disappointing to some people who want him to stay like that. They want him to stay in that one place. But, he's not. Frankly, it's surprising to see Perry more open to the world in general since leaving the cult. Yeah, I think a lot of things have opened up since leaving. It's like he relied on it because he doesn't have a lot. He didn't have a lot going on in his life, especially when he lost his disability and everything like that. He relied on the meetings and the community that brought about, and I think that's why most people fall into cults. Whatever it is you get caught up in that community. You get caught up in that, you have people in your life, whether they're bad people or whatever. And believe me, Jehovah's Witnesses are bad people. Okay, they're worse than Scientologists because they prey on simple-minded people. And I don't like this. And I've seen, and even when I got into Perry's life originally, why I was so militaristic and why, I think I rubbed some people the wrong way. And I mean fans, like that guy that probably, I think I probably told him to go F off or something like that, because I miss Mole too, Sir Charles. Mole watches the streams. He's around. But they prey on easy prey. They prey on gullible people. They prey on simple-minded people. They prey on people that are easily susceptible to suggestion. And Scientology you have to pay into. It's a different thing. Jehovah's Witness straight out brainwash you, and I don't like. And this is going to sound strange coming from me doing what we do on the stream, but I don't like it when people take advantage of other people who are easy to take advantage of, easy prey, and that's what Perry has been, and I when I was talking about this earlier on the stream, like we have fun on the stream, and I'll work him up for certain things, but I know the overall this thing is very good. It's very good for him. He's gotten very good things out of it. It's opened up a lot of doors for him. He's got other offers on the table too, where like aside from the Adult Swim thing, because of this stream. And it earns him a living, between this and Patreon and Cameo and all the things that have come in with him doing this stuff. it's been good for him. But I'll definitely push his buttons sometimes. But I love Perry. And I know most people here love Perry. And I never would ever want to see anything bad happen to him. I really put myself in high risk for him. And I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I'm not saying it, but I fucking almost went bankrupt myself just keeping him afloat. To the point it changed me as a person. When he lost his disability, things changed for me and my relationship with Perry. Things fucking changed. Things got real, and it was on a trajectory of change. And I don't like it. I see it all the time. Even like when you're in school, it's a little different because you're not an adult. And I'm you can always pick on the easy prey or somebody that's a little dim-witted or convinced and whatever. I don't like when people are taken advantage of in real life, like financially or just like bullied or whatever. I really adamantly don't like it, and I don't go for that here on PCL. I think we're part. We don't do the nasty, mean-spirited stuff. So I don't like it. That's why we draw certain lines, and lines that I've crossed, I'm sure, at certain points. But you learn lessons along the way. But I don't, and anyway, so getting back to it, like Jehovah's Witnesses do that. They take advantage of people, and and they're all brainwashed. All these people, whether they got the hierarchy of people, the elders or whatever, they're all taking advantage of these people, and they break up families. Like to be honest with you, Perry's cousin Sam is kind of dim-witted in his own way, and he's a Jehovah's Witness. He doesn't talk to Perry. He's like cut him off because of the witness bullshit. And it's bullshit. You know what? Like Perry relied on him for a lot of things, and he won't talk to him because Perry left the witnesses. And that's been harder on me. It's been harder on his cousin Mark. His cousin Mark, thankfully, never was a witness. So the people in his family now that he talks to are non-witnesses. And look, Perry has moments of weakness too, where he's like, I should go back to Jehovah or whatever. And I know he's just kind of saying that because he's exasperated. I was like, Perry, that's a road to ruin. So we need Mark Mazur said we need the 93 story. I'd like to hear the 93 story. Maybe that can replace the 92 story. That's been a little played out. Bugnut, seriously, the snake zebra CGI was effing funny. Yeah. It's funny. I didn't want to necessarily go there tonight because that's such a But then I'm glad he didn't run out there because to the door when he saw the snake. That was pretty. It's pretty well done, I will say. Those are very impressive. Very impressive. Praise Jehovah God. I hate that terminology too. Anytime he says terminology, like even demon or like things like that, it's like pagan and stuff. Those are all long-term indoctrinations. Can we wake up Perry? It's only 11. Is it only 11? I wonder if he's actually asleep. Now, you know what? I'm going to say no. I don't want to call him again. I think we had enough Perry tonight. I certainly did. I don't have it in me. I'm sorry. We had like 9 hours of Perry. So I think there was a comment. I think Johnny Pretzels. I think he left a comment that I missed. I was going to respond to it and went by too fast. I think it was from earlier, and I'm not ignoring it. I just apologize. I didn't see it. Will we ever get the full JW details? What he didn't like? What do you mean by that? 8 a.m. for Tracy. Yeah, it's only it feels later than it really is because I'm still used to starting at like 5, and now we're starting at 3 East Coast time. Can we crowdfund a replacement for the credenza glass that Mole broke and have Mole delivered for the next time we wake? I would love that. That would be great. By the way, Mole didn't break that. That was already broken. He's exaggerating about that. Mole did not break that. Danko, Tom, Perry ever talks seriously about rejoining Navajos? Please let me speak to him, like a serious conversation about the dangers of religion. I have a lot of constructive things to say on that topic. Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. I'll go to that. I hope that hasn't happened. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I think he's out. And look, he has a different lifestyle now. He makes good money. He's paying debts and he makes good money. No, I'm not snorting coke. I'm sorry if I'm snorting. No, I don't do coke. Um, but yeah, maybe TomB calls a fan. I would call somebody. I'm really winding down. Uh, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. Um, but yeah, kindly eat some cereal now. I know this is sophisticated stream, but you need to eat. Okay, yeah, I'm going. I'm going. We're at 11 hours, by the way. Went an hour past where I thought we were. If this officially, I think, is it officially the long? I mean, okay, I know After Hours isn't necessarily count, but I think this is officially the longest stream. Is it? Am I wrong? Did we ever go past 11 hours? Yeah, it's just like, look, Danko, as far as the religion goes, like he had a lot of bad people in his life. I'm not gonna get into it necessarily, but there was some bad, not just witnesses, bad people in his life that just had to go when they went, and people he associated with, that I don't even know if he's ever talked about, but he's just somebody like Perry who's so much a creature of habit is it's hard to do. Think about the people that know Perry, the people that I know there's a lot of new fans to this, but people that have known Perry for a while or known of Perry for a while. Think about how you know him and the fact that um, he left that cult is extraordinary, extraordinary. Rick says, "What's Nick up to these days?" Nick's still around. I think he wrote me a message on Facebook a while back, just basically saying how happy he is for Perry doing well on PCL and everything like that. So he's around. Um, we wrote back and forth for a little bit. He's a nice guy. He was always good for Perry. Definitely not one of the bad people I'm talking about by any stretch of the imagination. It's important for Perry to have real friends too, and he does have real friends. And he's even like he mentioned it, so I wouldn't mention this if he didn't mention it. But he's even not talking to on the phone, but he's been emailing back and forth with his daughter, which I think is important. So he's becoming more of a real person. Maybe it helped calling them Javajos. No, that didn't help. That actually, I think made him closer to it because he was basically like, oh, if my enemies are mocking it, then I must be on the right path. Danko says, I hate bullies and exploiters. Danko said, we play with Perry, never hurt Perry. Exactly. That's exactly right. I hate, people have said to me, like, oh, you're exploiting Perry. How am I exploiting Perry? Like, really? Like they have no idea of the history of him and I and what we've gone through together. And I say together because it definitely was a shared experience. Um, I don't, there's obvious exploiters out there, without getting specific. But yeah, I despise that. Despise that. And it's easy to come in here. It's easy to come into this stream and catch it at the wrong time. Maybe where I've lost my cool or something like that, and be like, "Oh, this is you guys are bullying this guy, or you're exploiting this guy," or I've even seen some people come in, "Oh, is this elder abuse or something like that?" And I get that from the outside, but when you hang out a little bit and you see what's going on here, and all the people that kind of work behind the scenes, and all of you guys, you're making a good life for Perry. Yeah, and Joey's is right. If anything, Perry's exploiting us. Believe you me, because a lot of us, like fucking Joey Hero here, they're here every stream, for all the time. I'm and it's they're not getting anything out of it right now. I hope in time they will, but I get here and there, but I get more out of Patreon than I get out of this, just because of the nature of it. Is the deal I set up with Perry and his cousin, and this is what we got to do. Is we got to pay out Perry, and not to get personal details. I don't want to get personal details about Perry, necessarily, but he made very stupid decisions even after he lost his disability. He got a credit card, and then decided to use that, into infinity, thinking that this is the way he was going to support himself, and that's on his back. There's so many little things you guys don't even know about, that he has to take care of. But anyway, yeah. Nobody's exploiting Perry. Liz says, not religious, I'm spiritual. I've tried to be that. And by the way, I'm not knocking religion. I wouldn't say I am religious necessarily. Even though I grew up Roman Catholic, went to Catholic school and everything. I'm not religious, but I don't. There was a period in my life though where I would say like, oh, I'm atheist and everything. I find atheists more annoying than hardcore religious people, because they're so adamant about not believing that they're obnoxious about it, and I don't. I actually envy people that have religion in a very clear, manageable way in their lives that gives them solace or whatever. I'm envious of that. I don't have that necessarily, but I don't mock it, and I don't I don't say I don't believe in God. I don't say I'm necessarily on my knees praying when something goes wrong, but I'm somewhere in the middle, and if something's out there, something's out there. It's like the same way I don't believe. I'm more adamant about not believing in ghosts than not believing in God. I don't believe in ghosts. I know I'll get disagreements on that, but I don't believe in the supernatural. I don't believe in like aliens. I don't know, but show me an alien. Same thing of the ghost. Show me a ghost and I'll believe in it. I have no problem believing in it, but show me one. I want to see it in person. That's all. I treat religion until there is a definite answer, and all answers are both right and wrong. I'm the same way. I agree with that. I believe in nothing. Perry and Tom stay in a haunted house. Yeah, find me a haunted house, and Perry and I will stay in there, and we'll stream all night. We'll do a ghost hunter stream. Find me a haunted house. Location shout. We can do ghost hunting. Yeah, there's a ghost hunting thing in Vegas, I think. Last time I was there, at least. So nonsense, utter nonsense to me. Yeah, good chances. My mom wanted to be a Catholic priest. That's interesting. Wow. Like I said, people who use the tenets of religion to socially manipulate people is awful, and I'm at war with it. I'm 100% behind that. I completely agree. I could not agree with you more. 100%. And that's what they do. A lot of, and I'm not even talking about the cults. Even regular religion does that. Sprainer Kruger. Who was the woman who stayed with him and drank 60 beers over 3 days? I think that was that Donna Lee. I don't know if she's still around, but she was a fan, and of course she was a woman, so slid into Perry's DMs and somehow conned her way to Perry's place. That was a while ago. I think that's who it is. I could be wrong. I think that's who it was. Ghost hunting meetup in the Queen Mary in Long Beach. I'd be up for that. I worked with a ghost hunting group for almost 10 years with a friend. I've been to dozens of quote-unquote haunted places. There's no such thing as ghosts. Thank you for confirming that. I will accept your opinion on that. And I know people that swore they saw ghosts, but I was like, no, you didn't. You were dreaming, or you were half asleep. You didn't see a ghost. Absolute nonsense. But again, whatever. If you believe in ghosts, that's fine. My mom believes in ghosts. My mom has this weird thing where she believes in guardian angels too. And my sister had this thing where when we were kids, I have two sisters. We're both 3 years apart. Two younger sisters, and God, when we were kids, my aunt lived in New Jersey, and my dad was a firefighter. So sometimes my dad was on a fire, like a tour for the week. We'd go stay with my aunt, and we, it'd be nice. And she had this like swim club near her where they had all these pools and everything, and it was nice. And anyway, long story short, my youngest sister Lauren, not my youngest sister. My youngest sister is Mary Beth, who Perry's mentioned before. But she was, I forget, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old. And she wandered off and went into like the lap pool or something like that. I think it was the kiddie pool, and she just sunk to the bottom. And my mom had turned around for a second, couldn't find her, and was like frantic, like where'd she go? And she was at the bottom of the pool. And then so I'm going by my mom's version of it, even though I was there. So my mom like was freaking out, and then all of a sudden some kid, some like teenager, said, "Ma'am, your daughter was at the bottom of the pool," and I dove in, and I caught it. I dove in, and here she is, and Lauren was crying and screaming, and my mom turned around to take care of Lauren, my sister, who was crying and like, oh my God, and then turned around to thank the kid, and he was gone. Now my mother to this day thinks that is a guardian angel and not a real person, because she says, I walked all over that place to find him. I looked everywhere and he couldn't find. I am convinced that that's a guardian angel, and I always fight her on it, because I'm just not it's my mom. I should let her have it. I was like, Mom, you know what? That's nonsense. That's just nonsense. It's just, it was no guardian. I said, what about all these other kids that died tragically? My best friend growing up died when 1997 at a stupid college party that got out of hand, and it's a long story. But anyway, he didn't die on the site. He died a couple of days later, and so his name was Sean. And I said, what about why didn't Sean have a guardian angel? I was like, who is his guardian angel? I was like, what about this person? Why don't they have a guardian angel? What about the kid that gets kidnapped and murdered? Like, where's their guardian angel? I get upset by it, because I'm like, so just because Lauren went in the bottom of the pool, a magic guardian angel showed up. Like, how does that work? And she doesn't have an answer for it. And I probably shouldn't challenge her so hard, because people should be allowed to have their own spirituality without some dickhead, challenging it. But I get mad about it, because I've lost people that I wish they would have had a guardian angel, And in the instance of my friend Sean. He went back to college a little later, and fuck. So he asked me to go to this party. I remember it was like February. No, what was it? Yeah, it was February 1987, and he said, "Hey, come to this party. I'm going to this party." He's like, "You'd be there. I'd like for you to be there, or whatever." I'm not. Whatever it was, just a regular invite to the party. And I said, no, I didn't want to go to the party. And I just I'm not going to know anybody there. And I don't know your college friends. And you go. Anyway, so at this party, people were fooling around. And he got pushed down some stairs, and he hit his head, and his brain swelled and everything like that. And he had to have surgery, because he was he was in a coma to reduce the swelling. And they took a piece out of his brain. It was very scary. And I remember even hearing oh, you might have a speech impediment. He's going to need some therapy, some what do they call it? Physical therapy, and because walk straight. And then what happened was, when he was under surgery, he caught pneumonia, and since he was in a coma, he couldn't fight it off, and he technically died of pneumonia. But I always. I've come to terms with it now, but I always not blame myself, but I always regretted not going to that party, because I guarantee you that would not have happened if I was there, because I don't, and that's one of the reasons I don't allow myself to get too drunk now. I think I mentioned that last stream, is I don't let myself get too drunk, and that's really the reason I don't ever get drunk, is because of him. because I won't let myself get that out of control. And now even then I always I try to look after drunk friends. In fact I try to be the sober one in a situation because not the sober one, but the less drunk one, let's say, because anything can happen, when you're in that situation. So, he was my best friend growing up because he was my dad's best friend, his son. So we kind of inherited a friendship. We kind of inherited this closeness because my dad and his father grew up together, and so it's like we almost had to be friends because if it didn't go that way. So but when he passed away, that changed me a lot. And anybody out there who's lost a friend, it's weird because it's always like, you always think, and thank you for saying the nice things, especially when you're like a teenager, or you always look at death as like for old people. Death is what happens to people that are very old. And when that kind of breaks through, it's like, ooh, that's rough, and I know like other people that have lost it, because I remember being in high school and like I wasn't friends with this person, but I know a lot of people were, and like he died in a car accident, and it was it's jarring when like somebody that's your contemporary passes away. So anyway, Sean passed away, and yeah, it was rough, and it's weird. I still have dreams about him. I almost there was a long stretch, like 20 years. I dreamt about him every night, every single night, and he would always be. I don't know if anybody else has experienced like this. I'm sorry, Joey lost 5 friends in the last year to heroin. Good Lord, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful. I've lost friends to drugs too. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful losing any friend, and but I just was a different person after that. For better, I don't know for better, or I don't know for worse, but just different. And I looked at life differently, and social gatherings differently, and it changed my drinking habits, and I won't allow myself to get to a certain way unless I'm in a safe environment, and I recommend that for everybody. But anyway, I think I brought that up because I get mad whenever my mom talks about my sister having a guardian angel, and I'm like, well, where's this person's guardian angel? Where's Joey's friends' guardian angels? Where's the guardian angel for some poor kid somewhere that gets killed or whatever? Not to get too I know we've been all over the place with this After Hours, but so I would have dreams about him, and in the dream, how to answer your question, Jill, how is he in my dreams? It's always kind of the same, where he's in black and white and everybody else is in color, and I'm happy to see him in the dream, and I don't get to see him that often, but we're in a room, like we're in this room, almost like an apartment. It's hard to explain because the dreams are so foggy, and I haven't had one of them in a long time, but we're in the dream, and he's fine, like we're talking and everything like that, but then there comes a point where we have to leave. Like we're leaving. Oh, we're going out. Like we're going out to get something to eat or something like that. And then he says to me, "I can't go with you. I can't leave." And forgive me for a second. He's like, he can't go with me because he's dead. It's like, and he's gray. And I realized, like in the construct of the dream, it's okay to be around dead people, but they're locked into a certain place. So in this dream, I can hang out with him in this room, but we can't do anything. We can't go anywhere else. He can't leave that room, and I can only see him in that room, and I can't get into that room unless I'm dreaming. It's very weird, and I don't know in the dream, in the narrative of the dream, I don't know what that room is. It's very weird. It's very strange, but I haven't had the dream in a while. It's been a while, but anyway, that it was always like that. And then there's been other people that haven't. Oh, I've also had the same dream where somebody like my sister passes away, God forbid, and they're in the same state, like the same thing. They can't leave that room, and luckily that I wake up and I realize that, like, oh, it's just a dream. You know, my sister's not dead or anything. Anyway, but with Sean, it was always that. And it was always the thing like where I caught him up on things like, oh my god, I got to tell you, like I literally had a dream once when the Star Wars prequels came out. I think it was after like the second one. I was like, oh my god, you have no idea how bad these movies are, because we were big Star Wars fans, like, you know, we were growing up together, and I was like, oh my god, they're so bad. Oh my god, did you see there's this new thing that came out and he can't experience any of it. I'm telling him this and he can't. Oh my god, you have to see this. You have to listen to this album that came out. You know, I was like, you're missing so much. And then as I'm telling this, I don't realize, again, all in the dream, I don't realize that he's dead. And then there's a certain moment where I do, and everything changes. He becomes black and white and distant, and we can't even talk anymore. And there's almost like a physical coldness that I get off him, and I have that realization in the dream, like, he's dead. I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck? I forgot. How could I forget that he's dead? Fuck. Yeah, right. Like, oh my god, you don't know about 9/11. That's true. Like, yeah, you don't know. Like, there's so many things. You'll never believe who's president. You'll never fucking believe who got elected president. Like, there's so many. Oh my, the Mets almost won the World Series. You know, it's like on and on. No, I didn't tell him about Ray. Oh my god, you have to see this new movie. There's a new Jedi, and she is the bestest ever. Like, you are gonna lose it. So it's just like weird. And it's been over. I think it's been over a year since I had the dream, and then I wake up in this fog. It's always the last dream of the night too. I always wake up after it, and I'm in this fog. That's like, wow, you know, it really hits me. Yeah, you have to. The next time I see him in the dream, I'm going to tell him about PCL. Like, you'll have no idea what I've been spending my nights doing. There's this guy. His name's Perry. You would love it. You would love it. Look. I'm going to see if we can get internet in this room. And you got to watch Perry Caravello. At least you can watch PCL. You don't have to leave the room. You can watch PCL. You can send in tip comments. You know what I mean? And by the way, don't send in tip comments to Sean. That would really creep me out. Yeah. So anyway, I would love if I don't believe in ghosts, but I would love life to work like that, where where we could see people again. You know, and I really do cherish those dreams, because it was the only place where I could see him. You know, and for a long time it was about apologizing to him that I wasn't there. That I'm so sorry I didn't take your invitation to go to that party, because, you know, you blame yourself for certain things, and I spent a lot of years blaming myself for his death because I wasn't there. And had I been there, I mean, there's no question in my mind, if I was there at that party, he'd be alive. He'd be alive. There's no question about that. But, you know, the part about, you know, blaming yourself is another issue. That's something I had to work out with myself. So I don't carry that with me anymore, as much as I used to. But I have my moments. Definitely. But when people talk about ghosts and things like that, I always think about, like, ghosts and, like, you know, Boo, you know, with like a white, Casper the ghost or something like that. But then, you know, with things like that, you think about ghosts in a very human way. But how do I explain my dreams, if at all? You know, it depends on the dream. It depends on the dream. I have about 12 reoccurring dreams. Like, you know, we all have the dream where we're back in high school and we don't know where to go. We don't know what room to go in. You know, I have that dream where I've missed so much school, I don't even know my schedule, and the bell rings and everybody files off into their classrooms, and I'm wandering the halls pretending like I know where I'm going. But I don't. And I feel like I've missed out on a lot. So, the one I just described. What do you mean, Chacha? What do you mean about? I can't quantify that dream, but I have a lot of different dreams. That one was just one that was the most consistent. I would have it all the time because it would always be on my brain. Some guy writes, "You sound like a gay." I don't know what that. But yeah, and then I have like I have one. Here's one. I haven't had this in a long time either, but I used to have it as a kid all the time, where I could fly like Superman. Like I had powers and stuff, but I didn't know how to use them, and I could fly, but like literally like low to the ground, like my like it like 2 inches off the ground, and then once in a while I could soar up to the sky, and then I'd be soaring like in Manhattan or something like that, and then just as I got soaring, I would be like forget and then fall to my death or something like that. That's another one. There's so many in the rotation. Here's one. If you're doing a dream interpretation, this is another one I have. This is the last one I can think of. Is I'm in a Kings Plaza shopping mall, which is where I grew up in Brooklyn. It's this mall, and they have a second floor where the movie theater used to be, and I go up to the second floor, and it was always this like brown tiled floor. It was always gross. It's probably different now, but it's always slanted and super slippery. And the second I get to the second floor, I slide over into like the department store, and I can't walk. And I get on my hands and knees trying to make it to the escalator to go down to the first floor where I can walk. And every time I try, I can't even grasp. I'm so slippery. But everybody else is walking by fine, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I can't stand up. Because if I stand up, this floor is so ridiculously slippery that I slide down to like slide up against a wall or something like that. So that's another one. But the dream with seeing my friend Sean is definitely the most prominent, and it's hard to interpret that. I don't know. I've never spoken about it to like in fact, I'm telling you guys, which is weird, but I've never really talked about that to a lot of people. There's some people I've talked about it to, but I've never like saw somebody professionally, like a psychiatrist or anything like that. I never, because I'm not into. I don't really believe in dream interpretations that much. I think it's just something. I think it's just somebody that was very close to me, and was my best friend. And saw seeing my dreams, somebody who passed away who's in my dreams, and I was always very grateful, even when I came out of the fog of waking up, I was grateful to have that that time with him again in the dream, as fleeting as it was. So they were very real in that sense. Anyway. Yeah, dream analysis is bullshit, I agree. But for the most part. Everybody's got off tomorrow, right? For Monday. Like we're not keeping anybody up to a ridiculous hour. Is Perry your guardian angel? He always gets super worried when you drink. Maybe. TomB is totally telling us how he believes in ghosts. Yeah. Yeah, I think Perry overreacts to drink because Perry's such a wimp with drinking. I think he exaggerates, and I get it's like funny. People can call me drunk or whatever. Like I don't get drunk. I really don't. It's very rare times where I get drunk. I love you too, Cha Cha. Thanks for being so sweet. I don't get drunk. That's the reason why I don't get drunk. I it's always in my mind. What's up? Danko says, thank you for sharing that. It's heavy and real. Yeah, you're welcome. I just, I can't tell the story about my mom talking about my sister's quote unquote guardian angel without me talking about Sean, because that's always my counter to her. And I was going to tell the story and be like, just leave that part out, but I can't, because that's the crux of my argument. It's like, where's this person's guardian angel? Don't give me this guardian angel stuff. And I get very, we don't have that conversation. But there's occasionally where we'll be sitting around and she'll tell that story and say how my sister had a guardian angel. Like, no, she didn't. Have I seen Perry drunk? No, I've not. You have to work tomorrow. I'm hammered and going to sleep in the doctor's office tomorrow. What are you going to the doctor for? I hope it's nothing bad. Maybe you can tell Perry and he can dox all your medical problems on the stream. But seriously, I hope you're okay. Tracy says she loves getting drunk. I don't like getting drunk. I don't like feeling drunk. I like getting buzzed. I like that buzz. I like that fine buzz line. but I don't enjoy it. I like being a social drinker. I have a very high tolerance. But Chaz, sorry I missed the deep story. $25 to tell the story again. Well, Chaz, I'm gonna turn that down. You can hear it on the replay. But thank you. Not that I couldn't use your 25 bucks. Rick says that he definitely agree with that, and losing someone close to you changes your perspective. It does, and some people are very lucky. Some people can go a long time, deep into adulthood, without having any real loss around them. And I'm not talking like losing your grandfather or your grandmother, because that's just life. Oh, at my work there's a doctor. I'm going to hide in there and say, okay, I got you. Cool. You're going to pull a George Costanza. That's good. But some people are very lucky. They can go a long time without facing death or facing loss on that level. And I always live in fear. I live in fear of losing my parents. I live in fear of it. Like I will be wrecked when that happens. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. And luckily it's not something I have to face right now. But everybody has to go through that, and everybody handles it differently. I was catching up on some older chat. Chomsky said, had a very similar dream about your dead dog recently. Couldn't cross the threshold into my bedroom. That's very interesting. I also had an interesting dream a couple of times about a dog of mine that passed away. It was our family dog. And in the dream, I had it a couple of times. In the dream, I'm in a room, an apartment that I've never lived in. But Brandy was her name, and Brandy is. I come home or something like that, and Brandy's in a corner and she's starving, and she's been living off toilet water or something, and it's been years, and I forgot about her. I forgot about Brandy. I forgot about this dog that I had. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been away. I'm in such a net. You've been. How are you still here? How are you still alive? I can't believe it. I just go up. I pick her up in my arms and I hug her and I apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take such good care of you. I can't believe I've been so neglectful. And here's this and here's that. And then I quickly wake up after that, and dog's gone. But that's in the dream. I don't know if that's a guilt thing manifesting itself. Because with my friend Sean, I definitely have guilt associated with that. Even if I say I'm over it, I'm not. In all honesty, I'm not. I still blame myself. But I hate your dreams. I know. I should stop talking about my dreams. My dreams are very detailed. People get freaked out about my dreams. Not just the reoccurring ones. I've told people flat out about a dream, and okay, you need to stop talking. Your dreams are fucking freaky. They're very detailed. Or maybe I just have a good memory about them. I don't remember all of them. I used to keep a tape recorder, not a tape recorder, like a digital recorder, next to my bed, and I'd wake up. As soon as I woke up, I would speak into it. I'd be like, all right, I'm in a room with a bunch of barking dogs, and there's Christmas lights. But yeah, the dog one's a good dream because you're reunited with the dog. There's no evilness to it. There's no creepiness to it. I know he totally gets it, but I feel the man. Man, I feel like he needs a cat or something. I don't know. I can maybe come around to cats, even though I'm a dog person. For those on the fence about whether or not to get buzzed or not, here's the deal. Palm Springs. Not Drake. The Palm Springs. Has anybody actually really played the Palm Springs game? I came up with that a couple of years ago. Whenever Perry would talk about Palm Springs, you take a shot. But I think some people would need their stomach pumped. To do that. Chomsky said, my dream about my friend remind me of Exorcist 3, a great movie. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the way your brain works. Joey, not to get too personal, but do you ever dream about your friends who passed away? Do they pop in your dream, and are they dead in your dream? Have I had sleep paralysis? Yes. I had it recently, actually, about 3 weeks ago. It was terrifying. Very, rare, but I live in fear of it. It's very. I had it just 3 weeks ago, and it was very short, thankfully. Like I woke up, sleep paralysis is when like basically you mentally wake up before you physically wake up, and Jesus, people have actually done the Palm Springs thing. And you can't breathe. So I woke up and and it's like this weird thing where I woke up in the bed, had a hard time breathing. It was after a late night. It was at one of these nights, like where late after hours, or whatever, and it was like a Monday or something like that. And I couldn't breathe, and I felt like somebody was in the room watching me and slowly walking towards the bed. Joey says, "Not about your friends, but you had dreams about your dad after he passed away." I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I get it infrequently, and it's terrifying. But I try to psych myself into, you recognize that I know what's going on. Like, okay, I'm having this thing. Take all your energy and take a big, like all you're gasping for is this big breath because you can't really. And then I snap myself out of it. But it was terrifying. Yeah, it's funny you asked that. It's very recently I had it, and hopefully it won't be for a long time. Joey said, the one I wrote down after it happened was he sitting in his truck waiting for me to get in with the door open. I told him I was going to walk, and when I looked back, him and his truck had vanished. Wow, that's really... that's sad. Thanks for sharing that. That's rough. And I see, I have a feeling if God forbid, when my father passed away, and it came close, he was in really bad shape for a while, as I've talked about. I think I'll be having quite a few. He'll be in my dreams quite a bit. Wow, what a weird turn this After Hours took. It started with Perry going to Denny's, and ends with us having very deep conversations about death and dreams and metaphysics and spirituality and everything. That's what you get for your premium subscription to After Hours. That's what you pay. That's what you're paying that $1,000 for. Is this love, this kind of variety? Where are you gonna get that? It means you're caught in between worlds, but you don't believe in that. No, I don't. But I understand what you're saying. I know, Chaz. I don't believe in ghosts. That was somebody being funny. I don't believe in ghosts. Mom and Dad, okay? Yeah, they are. They are okay. Look, they're getting older. My dad's much better. He got misdiagnosed again. He had a diagnosis of vertigo. And then he just told me the other day he has something else. The doctor thinks it's something else. Crazy. But yeah, he's okay. My mom's okay. She's just she's getting older. Tom, you might have answered this. What do you look for in a partner in the rest of your life? Well, that's a very interesting question. That's changed over the years. Everybody's different, but look for somebody that supports what you do. Honestly, I'd have to look for somebody that's like. Fucking what I do here with Perry would have to be okay with that. And I've dated women over my time working with Perry that were not on board. Like Perry would call, you'd hear we'd be out somewhere and all of a sudden the phone would go dan da 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 da, and they'd roll. Oh my God, do you have to go outside? Like, yeah, I got to go outside for 2 seconds and talk about this. Jill, same with your mom with the vertigo. Yeah, I forget there's a long name for what the doctor thinks he has now, and he's okay, but I'll have to get back to it. And they're not thing. Am I gonna post a message about Perry and the message is not tagged on Patreon? Yes, I have a problem. There's some weird thing with the phone. It's not extracting the voicemail like it normally does. The service I use that allows longer voicemails. Usually I can just download it or extract it to my phone. It's not working. I have an error and I gotta get it. But yeah, the answer to that question is yes. So like girlfriends are just we're not into it at all, and wasting my time. And also keep in mind, a lot of that was during a time where there was there's no financial gain on any level, with Perry. It's just going out the window. And then, it's hard to have a conversation with a girlfriend on why you can't go away. Why you can't go away on a vacation because you can't afford it because you're paying somebody else's rent. because you're paying somebody else's bills to keep them alive. And no, you can't afford to go to Vegas or Florida or wherever I can't afford that right now. Well, you can. Well, why are you paying? Getting into that whole thing. So I've definitely lost relationships over it. Um, Joey, my mother had a scare a few months ago. We didn't know what it was. Turned out she was dangerously low on potassium. Made a complete turnaround. That's great to hear. Um, wow. But anyway, so what I look for, somebody support, and I think this is not just for me, but anybody, somebody who's supportive of what you do, whatever you do, somebody who's supportive of that. I have a girlfriend that didn't like I went I'm sure I've talked about this, but I went back to school back in like 2005 to change careers because I didn't like what I was doing and I wanted to change. I wanted to be more creative, and I went back for writing, and I had a girlfriend that was like, "What are you doing? You're too old to go back to school. Oh my God, just stick with what you're doing. You're not going to be a writer. And it was like very, and people like that are very negative. Like not supportive. And they can get into your brain and your psyche and doubt yourself. So. So my answer to what you look for in a partner is somebody that supports what you do, somebody you gel with, somebody who's not a carbon copy of you. Don't date yourself. Don't date a carbon copy of you. You want somebody that brings something to the table, maybe interests or ideas or thoughts that don't necessarily align with your own, but you can respect the differences. I'm attracted to personality, sense of humor, like attitude, general demeanor that you can read somebody. Like I like spunk, you know what I mean? Things like that. Somebody who's their own person. So yeah, that's what I would look for. It's different for everybody. Some people like having whatever. Some people just like Perry looks for big boobs, fit, and not too old. And it's very, very simple. So everybody's different. But your tastes change. Like I never thought when I was younger I had hard nose. I'll never date somebody with tattoos. I'll never date somebody who's has kids. All that's out the window now. Because you get older, things change, and I'd kick my ass if I dated me. Listen, yeah, me too. And I'm definitely not easy. I'm definitely not easy because I'm very particular and stuff. To actually spend a lot, spend time with somebody takes a lot, and there was a period of time where I specifically went after women that were intangible, and I knew where it was a temporary thing because long term commitment was not a thing. It was not a thing. It was not a thing. So, you think about the things. Think about the things that you, would always have rules. And again, I don't know if everybody's as insane as me that has just like these rules that like, oh, I'm not going to date this, I'm not going to date that, whatever. Yeah, we're type A personalities. You're right. We're also Irish. You got to adapt and change. I hate when people say people don't change. Don't ever let people talk you into that. That people don't change. People do change. People change all the time. Some people don't change. Some people refuse to change. But I like to think of myself as a better person than I was 10 years ago, and maybe 10 years from now I'll be better than what I was now. Because you learn from life experiences, you adapt to certain things. Like look at Perry. Perry's changed, and he's almost an impossible case to get him to change, but he's changed. Maybe a year from now it'd be even different. Be more evolved and stuff. I mean, look, you're never gonna get woke Perry by any means, but people change, and they're like, again, I look back at my mental list of no-nos in terms of a partner that I had at one point, and they've all gone out the window. And I think my sister having kids changed me too, because it's like I used to be like hard no on kids. I go, I don't. Not only do I don't want kids, I don't want somebody who has kids. That's out the window. I love kids. I've got kids in my life that I cherish as if they're my own. So, we all have those things. But it's different for everybody. That's just me. You don't think that you can't change whatever situation you're in. It's like and I think we started getting deep here when I talked about that email that Perry got from the guy who had attempted suicide and says that he this stream means a lot to him, and I think that's where we started getting a little deeper, but it's just you don't have to stay in that phase. You don't have to stay in that thing. You don't have to, whatever funk you're in. You come in. I know, like the pandemic or whatever put people in a funk. You don't have to stay in that. You can change, and don't allow negative force. Don't like And I cut negative people out of my life. Even this past year, like people that were just oppressively negative, that I didn't enjoy communicating with, because they were oppressively negative and they were bringing me down, and making my life worse. And you just got to be, if you have people like that, cut them out. I know it's hard to do, but people can change. Don't ever let people tell you that they can't. And it's such an ignorant thing to say too. Oh, that person, the people don't change. Yeah, some people don't change. Some people don't learn from their mistakes, whatever. But not everybody. Anyway, as we approach 12 hours. Fuck, what do I do with this stream too? What do I do with this stream? Because I originally said I'm gonna put after when this goes to YouTube, I'm gonna put after hours separately. How does this match up with the Denny's stuff? I almost feel like this was just for us, like the live thing, like a talk thing, whatever. Yeah, cut out the bad parts, like anything, like cancer. Cut out the bad. Cut out, it's just, you don't owe anybody. Call somebody. Oh man, who would I call at this hour? Make this a 24-hour stream. We could get there, but I after hours is not the thing for 24 hours. We would need Perry for that. As Brody would say, stay positive. Yes. Lots of people don't change, but can possibly. Yeah, everybody has the ability to change, but there's a lot of factors that work against that in individuals, like the stubbornness, and I'm as stubborn as they come. But I've worked on that over the years. I have. I really try to work on myself, and then because I look back at things that I did even 10 years ago, wow, you were a dick, whatever. I could have handled that better. Or arrogance, I was so arrogant to think I could do this, and I fail at something, and then it humbles you. Besides PCL, getting to know and become friends with Tom and Hero has been great, and I got their backs for sure. Joe, I really appreciate that. I feel the same way about you. One of the many blessings of PCL is to have your support, and Hero, and Scott, and to not only work together but foster a friendship. And I talked to Joey / Jim, not to dox your name, but every day, more than I talk to other people, and we talk so much that yeah, there's a very deep rooted friendship there, and somebody that I rely on greatly, and somebody that Perry relies on greatly, whether he knows it or not, but I think he does know it. So yeah, I echo that sentiment 100%. I'm catching up on things. Johnny Pretzel just lost a friend last month to COVID, but Perry and Tom gave a shout, and I sent the caps to all our friends, and it was cool. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I'm glad our stupid shout outs could help you. That's great. I'm sorry, God, and losing a friend to COVID, how horrible. Liz asked, Perry got in between my relationships. Yes, more than one, and it never works out. It never works. It's never long for the world, because especially now, look at this. Who's putting up with this shit? Who's putting up with me being on the stream for fucking 12 hours? Who's gonna live with that? Who's gonna live with that? Seriously, what unicorn is gonna deal with that? Um, and then talking to Perry every day. I think Perry's a part of my life. Whatever. Perry's a part of my life. Whether somebody's got to accept that. A girlfriend or whatever. And some find it cute and funny at first, but it quickly wears off, and they're like, okay, like really. So glad that Perry took COVID seriously. Me too. And it's strange because he really follows a lot of far. And again, I'm not getting political. He follows far right stuff on YouTube that really drops my jaw sometimes. Where like I'll catch him because I have to log in his computer sometime and I'll be watching a YouTube video and I'll just catch like a little bit of what they're saying and I'm like, holy fuck! Number one, how is this on YouTube? Number two, how are you actually watching this? So. And they're all like COVID denying type people. So, I'm sorry to hear that, Garrett. That Perry was a blister with your previous relationship. I feel extremely guilty about that, and I'm sorry. But that's it. I looked, and that's the cross I bear. With that. You're the perfect odd couple, Tom and Perry reality show. You had to agree to go to church once a month. Well, okay. Well, Garrett, look, whatever. That's whatever I couldn't do that myself, but if you love somebody, you do so. You acquiesce to their things sometimes. I think I'm gonna have to vet Garrett's next girlfriend because I need him. I need him Team PCL more than I need him with a girlfriend. So let's find somebody that you got to find somebody that loves PCL. That's the answer. Perry is an honorary member of the Proud Boys. No, well, thankfully Perry doesn't know what the Proud Boys are. He couldn't pick Gavin McInnes out of a lineup. Oh, you never ended up going. Well, that's good. Charles, you're looking for women who are blind. I had a weird thing. I think it was some 80s show or something like that. Like one of these like stupid shows that I watched. And there was some like hot looking like blind woman on the show. And I thought to myself, oh, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to date a blind woman. And not because I felt I was hideous or anything like that. Just that I thought like that was a cool thing. Like I'd be cool dating a blind girl, whatever, and I can be her eyes. I got over that though. Danko has ups and downs with dealing with your girlfriend, I'm assuming, but she's the best person I know. That's great. Yeah, you and her can go on double dates. I like that. Probably is under. Yeah, but you know what? Gavin was a different guy when he did William Randolph the Hearse. You got to separate the two. He was a very different guy when he was William Randolph. Gavin went off the deep end at one point, and before he went off, though, he was William Randolph Hearst the Third, and he was great. He was a very good satirist. He still is. Very, very, very talented guy. I just think he got lost in his own Kool-Aid, unfortunately. He was always great as a lifestyle guy, giving people advice and commentary and stuff. I just don't think politics is his foray, but, look, he hunkered down in that. I only date people with spare SAG vouchers, Mumble says. Oh, I know you were jesting. I just wanted... I'm not clearing that up for you. I'm clearing that up for other people. Garrett's dad thinks PCL is cool. Boy, my dad doesn't even know about PCL. And even when my dad even called me one time and I put him on the stream, and then he asked me the next day, he's like, what was that thing I was on last night, that show you were doing? And I was like, it's this thing. He's like, oh, would I like it? I was like, no, I don't think you would. And it's funny. It was funny having that kind of talk my way out of like what I was doing. Yeah, that's a good call, Garrett. He went Randy Quaid. Yes, and Randy Quaid being crazy now takes nothing away from his great work. Randy Quaid's still great in Vacation, and he's still a great actor and still really funny. but he is batshit crazy now. uh, but yeah, that's a very good analogy. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I forget when that was. It was a couple months ago. He had called me, and I was waiting for the call because he was going to give me like an update, and I hadn't heard from him. And we were doing the stream on a Sunday, and I didn't want to like not take the call, and I just and I know I had mentioned him enough on the stream, so I just put him on the stream, and I think he was kind of like blown away. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, the bubble got too big for him. But also, Gavin has the same curse that Trump has. Again, not to get political, I'm just dissecting personality here. And I know Gavin a long time. He's very stubborn, and people can't admit when they're wrong. Some people can't admit when they're wrong. Good night, Cha-Cha. I love you too. Truly, truly, I love you. And thank you for reminding me. I'm going to take out the trash. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all your sweet words and your contributions always. Good night, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Gavin's extremely stubborn, and a guy like Gavin and a guy like Trump cannot admit when they're wrong. And that's the thing that's infuriating about Trump. Whether you're left or right, whether you hate him or love him, he cannot admit when he's wrong. He can't suck it up. He can't say that, okay, maybe that was a stupid thing to say. Unbelievable. Good night, Liz. Sweet dreams. I swear to God, I'm wrapping up too. I swear to fucking God. But Gavin's like that too. Gavin cannot admit when he's wrong. He can't say, like, look, this was a stupid thing you did. This was a dumb thing you did. You went too far here. No, I didn't. It was awesome. People are. It's my Gavin. It's my Mike David Gavin impression. But it's like, no, you're wrong. Like I got into it with him. Like the Proud Boys thing a little bit. I was like, Gavin, it's getting a little out of hand. He's like, no, you're getting out of hand. You don't get it. These are great guys. Like, no, they're not. Like, what's going on? He's like, no, they fucking rock. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. You enjoy it. What can I tell? What can I tell you? Gavin says something tough to get attention. Yeah, that's true to a point. It's true to a point. But it's also an insane stubbornness. Insane stubbornness where it's like, he's like, all right, guys, I was wrong. This was pretty stupid. And I shouldn't have done this, or whatever. I should go back to reviewing bars and telling dudes how to dress. I should have never gotten into this politics shit. I was wrong, and, whatever. And it's like, I'm going back to what I know, and I don't know shit about politics, and I don't know why I dug in so deep. I'm an asshole, and I lost a lot of friends, but I'm back, guys, and I'm going to write a new book on sports coats and how men should wear them and how men should, it's like, okay, cool, but he'll never do that. He's just gonna dig in that. He's gonna dig that trench deeper and deeper. It's like, no, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. It's like, I'm right. I'm being censored. It's like, yeah, I've been booted off every social media because they don't like to hear the truth. Whatever. Anyway, I by the way, I have great affection for Gavin. Gavin and I were friends for a long time, but he went too far. yeah. Like that's when I knew he was crazy. Like showed it. He put like a dildo up his ass on his show, on his like Kumia show, which was a good show, by the way. Pre-political, it was fun. You would have interesting guests. I'd help him. I would help him get guests and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, this guy would be good for the show and stuff like that. Pre-political, but whatever. And I'm more out of it because Milo's such a little shit. I'm out of it because I don't. I don't know. I don't give a shit about politics anymore. It's like when you gotta work yourself up, and I think all these people. See, that's the problem with all these people. Like in 2016, people dug themselves in so deep, left and right, and they thought, and especially the right people. And again, not to say I'm one side or the other. I voted right and I voted left, but Oh, it was a butt plug. Okay, sorry, same thing. I didn't see it. I just listened to it. I was always a listener. I was never a watcher. Um, but people dug into this like Trump thing, like, oh, this is the new wave, and they said, oh, we're gonna take over now, and we're gonna like all these people like these like uh, YouTube personalities even or like conservative types like, oh, now Trump's gonna win and we're gonna take over. We're gonna be the majority of pop culture and where it's trending. The right is punk rock and that whole mentality is like, no, no, it wasn't, and no, it isn't, and now you're stuck there. You cemented yourself into that, and now it's just a bad look. Keep it to yourself. I'm of the opinion that politics should be talked about in speakeasies with men, underground. Maybe you could talk about politics there, with whiskeys and like who did you vote for. Other than that, I like to be old school and be like, let's not talk about who you voted for. Is it generally like if you went on the street and in the early '60s and asked a guy who they voted for, they would look offended, like you asked them like their sexual habits, because it was such a private thing, and that's what it was ungentlemanly or unladylike to ask somebody where they leaned politically. It was none of your business. And I'd love to return to that. Trump's policies worked, but his attitude was horrible. I agree with part of that. Again, we're so personality based. People vote on personality, and it's just, and especially somebody who can't admit fault. It's bad. We'll see. We'll see what happens in 2024. We might live it all over again. I come back to politics. I'm so sick of Biden is ruining this country. I don't care. Like, yeah, and I don't think Biden's great. I don't think even people that voted for Biden. By the way, nobody voted for Biden. Nobody voted for Biden. People voted against Trump. Nobody voted for Biden. There's very few. I'd love to find the person that voted for Biden, that voted for Biden. Like they thought it was he's some great guy. It's an anti-Trump vote. Any Democrat would admit to that. Any independent would admit to that. If you say you voted for Biden because you love Biden, you're lying to yourself. And I say that as a true independent. The only candidate I was excited for was Perry. Yeah, it's too bad he dropped out. He had a lot of hard opinions, though. You're right to compare politics to sports. It's such a dumb thing to get into for game's sake. Yeah, it's like how could your team be right all the time? And the thing is, take social. Again, I keep saying we're not getting political, and we're getting political. Take social issues off the table for the most part, and leave that aside, because I can be socially liberal and conservative in other areas. But this is a it's a very socially liberal country, and it always has been. Saying I voted for Biden thinks mayonnaise is too spicy. Don't blame me. I voted for Joe Exotic. It's okay. It's funny. I always thought, like, I always bought into this mentality, like, oh, you have to vote. If you don't vote, what time is it on the West Coast? It's midnight. He's asleep. I don't want to call Perry, but like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, my point was that I think, like, social policies and social issues I don't vote on social issues. I think it's ridiculous. But I know what my point was. I voted once for stupid Gary Johnson. I'll never vote again unless it's drugged into it. So yeah, I used to think that it was like people that didn't vote were like anti-American or something like that, or like terrible or whatever. Now I'm the other way now. I'm like, I kind of don't want to vote. Like, that's how turned off I watch. Did Perry watch Tiger King? No. I think there was a window. If you didn't watch Tiger King last March, you didn't watch, because I didn't see it, because by the time everybody watched it when the pandemic first hit, And then if you didn't watch it then, you didn't watch it. And I got annoyed with how popular it was, and I'm like, fuck Tiger King. Tiger King and Perry. Maybe he'd like it. Maybe he should watch it now. Is the debate between Perry and Mole anywhere? Yeah, I think that's on that other site. You can go look that up. I don't think it's very good, to be honest. My opinion on voting is the same as Frank Costanza's. They don't want me, I don't want them. I agree. And look, your life isn't changing all that much no matter who's in there. Yeah, maybe it's a little different now. Now it's getting scary. But, you know. Yeah, I feel like Tiger King is so overblown now, I can never get into it again. Not again. I just get into it, period. I never get into it. You get to vote to get punched in the face or punched in the balls. I don't want either way. Yeah, right. It's like, do you want to be stabbed or shot? Because I'll never have my perfect candidate because I am a true independent. I can veer Republican. I can veer Democrat. There's definitely Democratic policies I like, and there's definitely Republican policies I like, and they don't blend together. And there's never that. I need a Frankenstein candidate that I'll never get in my lifetime. So what am I bothering for? Basically, it's like dating, and it's like dating somebody and lowering your standards because oh well, I'm not going to get anybody better. I'll just date this person. That's how I feel when voting. Well, this is the best I could do given my parameters, so I'm just going to vote for this person. And it's like, well, why do I have to do that? I can just say no. Just say no. And I know it's terrible to say, like not voting, but I don't know. I'm kind of there. Sir Charles Barkley, am I cool to join the Facebook group? I haven't had it in years. Yeah, definitely join the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group, even if you have to create a. I know there's so many people that are like, I don't want to go on Facebook because I hate There's so many like anti-Facebook people. Right, Facebook sucks, blah blah blah. But just create a fake fucking profile and only use it for the PCL. The PCL group is where it all goes down. It's like PC. Like you need to be. Here's the two places you need to be. You need to be in Perry Caravello Live group on Facebook, and you need to be in Discord. Okay, join both. You don't need anything else. There's nothing really going on. We don't have like an online page or anything like that. There's a subreddit, but that's, you know, it's either Tumbleweed or Troll City. So nothing really goes on there. Facebook, Perry Caravello Live, and Discord. That's where you want to be to talk about Perry Caravello Live. And absolutely, all are welcome. Data Nate says, I'm going to bed, but I'll be listening as usual. Okay. Sorry. And I'm going to change this up at some point, I promise. I mean, after hours overall. I rejoined Facebook after 7 years just to keep up with what was going on with Perry. Yeah, I hear that a lot. And I'm off. I very much am anti-Facebook. I don't really post on Facebook at all. I don't even look at my feed, really. I'll just go in groups and stuff. But if I had to rank the two, I'd say... I don't know. Discord's really good. Discord might trump the Facebook group because there's so much content, but... it's organized differently. Indiana Boy, good night. Thanks for rocking out for 12 hours. What is this file size going to be? I'm paranoid now of this stream. It's gonna. Don't expect this to be up early tomorrow on Patreon. It's going to be it's a huge file. The Discord is really great. TikTok, I think is just at Perry Caravello. Garrett can correct me on that. He runs the TikTok. Yeah, Joey says it right. Discord is where most of the action is, especially crowdsources. But there's a lot of cool thing. I think Discord is more of a community thing. Like I think a lot of friendships are formed in Discord. It's more like hardcore talk about PCL, but also a lot of other things. Whereas Facebook is kind of like just generic, like PCL Perry S post or something like that. Tracy, I deleted my Facebook yesterday. Of course you did. Um, Whatever. People have this weird thing with Facebook. Even friends of mine are like, oh, I had to delete my Facebook. I had a what's Perry's Discord? There'll be a link in the chat. Joey will post a link. I deleted my Facebook. Like, why do you have to go that hard? Just don't go on it. Just log out for a while if you can't. You gotta take a break, whatever. Just deleting your Facebook is lunacy. Like, why would you let a platform like that work you up so much? Not you, Trey. I'm just saying people in general. It's like I have it because I need it. I use Facebook Messenger all the time. I talk to a ton of people via Facebook Messenger. I use it for work. I have a lot of groups that I'm in. And Facebook would be useless to me if it wasn't for the groups. Facebook groups is what makes Facebook for me because I'm in a lot of groups. I'm in groups for like different things. Garrett has the link to Discord. I like audio stuff that I'm into, like audiophile stuff. Red Bar group I like, and Perry Caravello Live, and a couple other things. Other than that, and there's groups that I was a part of that I'm not really a part of anymore. That's just how things work. But mainly right now, there's like two or three groups that I pay attention to: Perry Caravello Live, a couple of like techie stuff, and the Red Bar group. Chaz, I met a great bunch of people who became friends with the Discord, just like when I was a Big Three fan. So my closest friend I made was because of the Big Three. That's great. I deleted mine because people would message me and get mad at me for not responding. Well, fuck them. Like, you don't have to delete the whole thing after that. Yeah, I know. Facebook is definitely spyware and all that shit. By the way, I remember like being blown away by like my phone and apps and shit like that, like Instagram and stuff, like spying on me. And now I've become not only okay with it, but almost thankful for it. Like I'm looking to like buy certain things, like whatever, and like I'll be talking about it in like regular conversation or even on the phone on a phone call, and then I'll go on Instagram and I'll see like whatever I'm looking for, like let's say a barbecue, whatever, like oh here's deals on barbecues, and 5 years ago I'd be creeped out by that. Now I'm like oh this is good, this is handy. I'll look at this. Like it's weird how I've become surprisingly okay with being completely spied on and my privacy violated. I'm catching up on old chat. Danko says, "Vote for Vernon Supreme." Does Vernon Supreme? Does he still pop up? I was always entertained by him. Last week I got a push notification for what town my mom was in. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm like numb to it by now. I'm like looking for some audio equipment and stuff. Not looking for. I gotta wait for it because it's stuff I can't afford right now. But I have stuff that I've been researching, for my media room, and if they pop up like, oh, have you seen this like audio stuff? I'm like, oh, yeah, I am creeped out, but this is kind of helpful. Thank you. Yeah, what's the side? Yeah, the only thing they haven't regurgitated me is my social security number or something like that. That's it. Yeah, Mumble's like fucked up when it's shit you're talking about, not even doing. Yes, and I've said like I've taught like, and again years ago when that first started happening, I'd be in a conversation with somebody talking about like fuck, like I don't know, like whatever. The time I'd like to go to Hawaii one day, and then you look at your phone a couple hours later, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and it's like oh deals to Hawaii. Here's things about Hawaii. And it's like, and I didn't type it in my phone. I just talked about it. But whatever. now I'm used to it. Now it's like whatever. It's part of, like, they've worn me down so much that I just realized this is part of the deal. Don't worry, TomB. Perry will tell us soon enough. I know he doxes me with everything. And by the way, I'll just tell you right here. I'm doing a minor surgery. Since I'm sharing so much tonight, I have a minor surgery. I'm getting a lymph node removed from my, like, lower portion of my neck. It's a very minor surgery. I had a lymphoma scare a while back, and that nothing bad at all. It's just a precautionary thing, and I should be in and out. Not a big deal. But I figured I'd tell people before Perry did. So not that I'm looking to get this posted all over social media, but since people are asking, that's what I'm doing. I'm just getting that taken care of next Thursday, the 16th. Not a big deal at all. Well, I mean, it's a big deal, but not that big of a deal. I don't know if I'll be chatting. I don't know if I'll be chatting away the day after that. So I'm getting all my chatty shit out now. Yes, non-malignant. Imagine how many fast food things Perry sees. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I'll be back in no time. Thanks for all the nice comments. It'll be fine. Perry's a little paranoid about it. Yeah, he actually asked me now. God, if you die, can I have your mother's phone number? Like, well, I don't know, Perry. Last time you talked to my mother, it didn't go so well. Look. I need to know. I need to know. That can be scary. Glad you're okay. I hope the surgery goes right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will. Oh wow, your wife's having a similar. Oh wow. Well, let's all have a good thought for Rick's wife. On Tuesday. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, it's supposed to be a very minor thing. Random question: why did I give Artie Lang so much shit back in the day? You know what? Because I actually knew somebody that he took a lot of money from. Not to get too personal about this. It's not that it's my personal, but Artie fucked over a lot of people, and there was a person that I knew that he had a business deal with that he literally fucked over, like fucked over royally, and it was just like, how many chances is this fucking guy gonna get? It's like just so annoying. It really infuriated me. And he fucked over Anthony Cumia too, big time. Not that I'm not crying over him, but he fucked over so many people because look, he was a junkie and had his problems, but there was the guy that I knew, I still know, basically lost his business, lost his whole shirt, strictly because of Artie, indirectly, and Artie's just lack of care for anything other than getting himself high, and his selfishness. So yeah, I know. I went hard at him a couple of times on Twitter. Not that I mean anything, but it was he really fucked this guy over, big time. And I don't like that. I don't like screwing over. I don't like screwing over. Somebody like Artie who has a ton of money, whatever, screwing over. This is a guy who had a regular business, and was just trying to do right by him, and I was actually trying to help him, and Artie just like destroyed his whole business. It really, I mean, just completely took advantage. So I think Artie's talented, and I hope he's clean and gets on the right track. But that guy had a lot of chances, and even like look at Cumia, Anthony Cumia's network. People think whatever they want about Cumia, but they put a lot of money into the Artie and Anthony show, and it was a good pairing, I thought, at the time, and they raised their subscription rates and everything like that, and he just completely screwed them over, like just didn't show up, was getting high every day, like was late, didn't last that long, and they put a lot of money into marketing. I mean, they took out a billboard, for Christ's sake. You gotta have sympathy there, but that's why I had a lot of I had a lot of, and he was getting all this sympathy, like, oh, feel better, Artie. We're all rooting for you. It's like, man, it's like this guy, he did a lot of scummy things that I got privy to, and I just didn't. And I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. I really do. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut when I probably should. And that's a situation where I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but I didn't. So that's, anyway, that's the answer to that question. Leave Perry the tiki bar. Yeah, Perry, you can inherit my fucking shit tiki bar. Joey, if Perry dies, does that mean Scott inherits him, or does it fall to me? Well, split custody really, because somebody would have to run this. Somebody would have to take over my role. And yeah, I think it would still be a team effort. I don't think anybody gets sole custody. I think it would still be a team effort. Boy, that's a good. Let's hope. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Never had a dream about that one. Howard Stern. Yeah, a lot of people enabled Artie. And it's just like and again, look, when people are on drugs, especially heroin, they get really dark. They get really dark in that and become different things themselves. Put the tiki bar on Perry's patio. We can do that. It's a shit. It's a horrible drug, man. And it's just, I mean, take a look at him, man. Take a look at what he did to himself. And I think what I get frustrated with Artie is like, I don't know his mom, but look what he put his parent. Look what not his parents, but his father passed away. But look what he put his mom through. Well, she always seemed like such a sweet woman, and he just put her through hell. It's just because again, I don't get addiction. I don't get addiction, but we need a PCL Bill Bernelli. Garrett. Well, Wes Most was going to do that, and they turned it down. Wes Most had a PCL pool bar promoting his pool party, and they turned it down. They actually turned it down. We need to establish pecking orders if Tom's not around. That's good. Well, Perry has Scott's number. Perry would call Scott. Scott would get in touch with Joey. It would get figured out. I'm sure Mark would get involved. God forbid I don't return and things go terribly wrong next week and you don't hear from me again. That could happen. Who knows? Thankfully, I've never tried heroin. I don't know I've never wanted to. Just couldn't bring myself to ever do it. So, but I've heard that it's just it's such a life. That and not for nothing. That's another thing I always couldn't stand about Gavin, and because he was very cavalier about it. And I'm not speaking out of school. Because Gavin would talk about it on the show, like, heroin's great. I do heroin every now and then. You want a little bump of heroin, it's fun. Just don't go down. It's like, don't, because that's just a stupid, irresponsible thing to say. I always hated that when he did that. Tom, just take a vacation and the guys can fight over who talks to Perry daily. Yeah, stand in line. I would need to give a course first on how to talk to Perry daily. I would need to teach a course. And I probably could. Yeah, I'm the same way. Garrett, I hate needles too. And I think Artie snorted heroin. Yeah. And, apparently he's off the radar now. And apparently living with his mom. And I'm over my anger issues with him. And again, I don't know Artie. I met him like twice, and he was nice enough and whatever. But I don't know him at all. But my anger issues in that situation has subsided, and I personally don't even use Twitter anymore. I really don't. Not for me. Like I'll help post something for Perry or something like that. But as far as my personal, it doesn't interest me at all. Yeah, his nose collapsed. He has like no I think somebody punched him in the face, like somebody he owed money to, which was a long list. like made it worse. But he had like the cartilage was all wrecked from all the snorting of like cocaine and shit. And I think he said he got a bad batch of cocaine and snorted it with glass, and that fucked it up. It's just, I mean, God, he just looks so. I mean, look at a picture of Artie when he was on Stern from like 15 years ago compared to now, or even any time in the past few years. It's horrific, and God help anybody that's stuck in that rut. I mean, and thankfully, I've never personally ever had any issues with addiction. I've never even smoked, so. Did he tell the story? Yeah, I forget. Wasn't it? Was it a guy like a bookie collector, like Johnny Pretzel said? Was it? I think it was something like that. And then he went on his Twitter rant about it. But yeah, I don't know. I hope for the best for Artie. I still liked him on Stern. I don't think he was in the golden era of Stern. I think he was in a good era of Stern, but not the golden era. But there was some good times on that show. He looks like an elephant seal. Um, I think 12 hours and 30 minutes will be good. We'll make this. This is it, Trojoy, right? I'm going to call it at 12:30. So this is officially the longest stream, right? I mean, I know with After Hours doesn't really count. I smoke weed and that's it. Yeah, I see. I can never get into smoking weed. I don't like smoking. I don't like the act of smoking. I can't get into it. I can't get my brain around willfully inhaling smoke into my body. I can never get into that ever. I've tried it. I can't do it. But I do edibles to sleep, not for fun, not for like recreation or anything like that. Yeah, okay. I trust your judgment on that. 12 hours and 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. Most of it was with Perry, right? So Perry for 9, and then us just by ourselves 3 hours and 3.5 hours, something like that. Is that what it is? Sorry I missed most of the stream. Did any commenter or caller bring up the bow and Ron Jeremy at the bow as hunting grounds for sexual play? Yeah, somebody did bring up Ron Jeremy. I don't know if it was that specific, but well, Ron, actually no, he didn't. What am I talking about? No, he didn't. No, nobody brought up. Nobody brought up. Nobody brought up Ron Jeremy. Weed is good for sleep. Yeah, there's just like one brand of edibles that I really like. It's like this grape one. I forget the name of it. It's like comes in this little boutique box, and those knock me out pretty good. I try not to do it every night, but I won't need it tonight. So Perry was on for 9 hours, and we're at 12 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so three and a half hours of just us. And boy, we really went through it tonight. I mean, we really today like. The people that hung out here the whole time, like there was so many things that we covered. I feel like I feel emotionally exhausted from even just After Hours, because I think we've been funny, we've been light, we've been as deep as we've ever gotten on. I mean, as deep as I've ever gotten just talking to the stream for sure. Talking about certain things, but I think we all know that we're in a very tight-knit community of trust and friends for the most part, except that one guy that came in that Joey booted out. But I think it's a great community. It's the PCL support group. It's true. That definitely earned its title today. It definitely was. We hit Joey said we ticked every box you could possibly tick tonight. It's true. What's left? What else are you looking for? What else are you looking for? Like what other thing can you possibly do? Yeah, I feel it. I definitely feel it. I don't know if you guys feel it. I feel it. But it's a good group. It is a good group. You know, wherever you came from, um, you know, whether you've known Perry for a long time or you're new to Perry, you know, I think PCL is a unique thing. The Stern Show classic kind of died with Eric. I've said that for a long time. I agree with you. Loved Artie, but it was already in a downside from the '90s when Artie left. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Eric the actor passing away on the Stern Show is the mark of the end. The Stern Show died with him. He took it with him. Absolutely. 2014, I believe. And Steve, please stop telling Ford you're not interested while Perry hears as long as possible. I know he was super. He was super into that. I think that might carry over. That might carry over. I've had dreams about Perry. I know I'm not the only one here. Well, I've definitely had dreams about Perry, but I don't count. I hope they were good dreams. I've had dreams about the stream. I've had dreams about doing the stream and like crazy things happen on it, and I don't know how to react or something like that. I've had dreams about the stream. Speaking of dreams. Billy and Jack. Yeah, and there was some good Stern without Jack. You know, I was listening to. I was gonna send it to you, Chaz, and then I lost the link because we'll share like Stern links with each other. The one where that voodoo woman called in. She was like, and that's the beauty of when Howard was on regular radio before satellite radio. Because now satellite, all you have is built-in sycophants. So any call you're gonna get are gonna be ass kissy. But back when he was on regular radio, you can get anybody calling in just listening to the radio. And there was this woman called in who yelled at him for something, and it's the clip that Fred always used to play, where the woman goes, "It doesn't matter," and it was this woman who put a voodoo curse on him, and Howard was like, "Oh, you're so silly with your stupid." It's just always great to hear, as much as Howard has just completely died and become terrible and unlistenable. It's always great to hear him in his prime, and remember what that show used to be. But I forgot. I copied the link and I didn't have it, and then I was doing too many things, and I was gonna find it and send it to you, and like, oh my god, I remember this, and then things got away from me, but that was that. So let's leave on that note. Let's leave thinking about Eric and all the people that we've lost that are near and dear to us. Even if it's somebody you didn't know, because death changes you. Death changes people. Howard became Imus. Yeah, he definitely did. But yeah, so I don't know how is this gonna play on repeat. Like that's the thing. Like if somebody watches this tomorrow on Patreon, like when they get to After Hour, are they gonna stick with this? Like the people, like that's what I wonder sometimes. Like I'll see in the comments on Patreon, like I don't look at them all the time, but I'll see like somebody will correct me on something, like oh so and so didn't direct that movie, it was so and so, and I'm like wow you listen to the whole thing to get that, because I usually think when somebody watches the PCL on Patreon the next day, they're just watching the PCL. They're not hanging out. They're not watching After Hours, not live, or listening, I should say, is crazy to me. Crazy. So I wonder how that plays. Chaz was listening to Mark Harris saga. Yeah, I don't know if you heard Chaz. I talked about this a while, but I was actually friendly with Mark Harris. I stayed at his house, and we were actually pretty good friends for a while. It's a story I'll tell you if you haven't heard. I've told it on other After Hours a long time ago, but yeah. Danko says, "R.I.P. to all those we've lost along the way. Cheers, hammers be tossed in their names." That's a good thought to go out with, and also cheers to people that we could have lost and didn't, like people that are struggling and have had a hard time, and somehow found their way, whether it's because of this dopey stream or something else. Yeah, Chaz. Yeah, it's a story I'm not going to get into now, but I've told it before. Maybe I'll bring it up again. But it's like, yeah, we would talk on the phone, and I stayed at his Bel Air estate, which is Martha Ray's estate. I've seen him in his bathrobe, and to be quite honest with you, as much of a Ralph Cramden he was, he always had some new idea. He was one of the sweetest guys I've ever known, but crazy and eccentric. But I'm sorry that he's no longer with us. The whole After Hours with celebs and whatnot, lots of contact to videograph. Yeah, I do like that angle. And I like the fact that Perry said he would never do After Hours again. Wow. No jacket for him. Anyway. No. There's nothing like that. Nothing like that. He was a gentleman. Mark was a complete gentleman with me always. Always. He was wonderful. But I love. He called me sometimes like, Tom, I want you to hear this. The other night, it was when he was in this phase where now I'm fucking talking about it, but I'm only gonna say this. But Mark Harris was this guy. He was married to Martha Ray. He was on a Stern show a lot. And he was in this phase where he was doing stand-up comedy, and it was kind of at the same time where I was doing a little bit of it. And he'd be like, I was on stage last night, and I talked about your email, and I read your email on the stage, and everybody was uproarious with how, and he's like, I hope you're okay with it, because you're the best emailer I know. It was complimentary, because I had written him this email where I was like ranting about something. Whenever this is like 2002, something like that. I think it was 2002. Or no, maybe earlier. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe it was 2000. And so Mark Harris would call me out. He called me at all hours too, because he's on the West Coast, so he'd like wake me up sometimes. So like, I hope I didn't wake you. Like, no, I'm all right. And I got a kick out of talking to him, because I listened to him on Stern, so in a way I was kind of starstruck. But I lost touch with him, and I regret losing touch with him greatly. It's one of the we just lost touch. There was a period he went away, like we would email back and forth, and then talk, and then he whenever he came to he had a daughter that lived in New York. Whenever he came to New York, we'd get together, we'd have dinner, and he would tell me all about. He always had some plan. He always had some get rich plan. He always had some kind of scheme that was going to break through. I'm meeting with some very important people in Germany. I'm flying out tomorrow, and I'm going to pitch them this idea. It's going to be the biggest thing in reality television. It's a terrible Mark Harris impression, but that was kind of his cadence. He always had this. He always had this thing that he was just sure was going to take off. He had some connections in Germany. Like he'd take meetings in Germany with people that he's like, the Germans will love this. Yeah, that's my moniker. The best emailer I know. You're the best emailer I know. And then we'd be on like AOL Instant Messenger too. Like he'd be on there, and he had his AOL. I mean, I could say now because he's passed away. It was called Harrisite, and I always see Harrisite come up my IMs like, "Hello Tom, are you busy?" And like, he was such a sweet guy. Yeah, and it's almost hard for me to listen back to his old Stern things, because I have such a fondness for him, and it's hard for me to laugh at him. But I do love his songs, like all the songs he did, like, and he had a lot of songs that never made it to the air. He had a lot of songs that like, and they all sounded the same, of course. He's like, it'd be like, I've written a song about John McCain. Like, Dear John McCain, it'd be like this whole thing that never made it onto Stern. And I fucking wish I had the wherewithal to ask for all his songs, because I would like to I'd like to play them. I'd like to have them. I only know the ones that were on the Stern Show, but he'd have a song. He'd write these quick little songs with this guy he knew that would play the piano, and every single one would sound the same. Every fucking one. It's so funny. He was such an eccentric guy. He was one of a kind. He was from a different era. He was from a different era. And the one thing I discovered, and I'll end with this because it harkens back to what I talked about, like myself and Perry, and how people can accuse you of, exploiting people that are, maybe need caregiving. And the one thing I got from my friendship with Mark is, people when he was with Martha Ray, like, oh, he's after her money or whatever. From everything I knew personally, being at his home, being at Martha Ray's home, and I slept in a bed that like Bob Hope was in. There was a big picture of Bob Hope in that room as I was in the room. It's fucking crazy. But I don't think he took advantage of Martha Ray. I think he was an excellent caregiver for her in her older years, and she needed somebody to do that because her family was terrible. And he, for as eccentric as he was and the character that he was, I knew that the running joke was, "Oh, you're not, you're taking advantage of an elderly woman who's lost her faculties." And it wasn't, from my point of view, just knowing the way I knew him, I don't think that was the case. I think he was a good. I think he had a good soul. I think he had a good moral compass. I think he was a good person, and just very eccentric and very entertaining and very funny. But yeah, I can go on and on. We had a lot of stuff. We had a lot of things. But I'm very good at reading people, and that's the honest hit I got from him. I didn't get the whiff that he was some kind of huckster or something like that, taking advantage, because that would be terrible, like taking advantage of somebody like that. He did a lot of hard work for her in her later years, that a lot of people wouldn't do. So that's my 2 cents with Mark Harris. When the few people that know who he is, look up Mark Harris, Howard Stern on YouTube if you don't know what we're talking about. He's very entertaining, very very interesting guy. I'm a gay papa with you. I'm a gay papa. That's when he came. By the way, he came out of the closet very late. Like that was when he finally came out. And good for him. By the way, he never really gave away what side of the fence he leaned on. But then he came roaring out. So here's as we keep cycling back to the same point. Here's to Mark. Here's to Eric. Here's to everybody that we've lost ever that meant something in our lives. Whether it's somebody you knew peripherally, somebody that entertained you, somebody that meant something special to you, with close friends or whatever. Let's all end the night or start the day, as the case may be for some people, having a good thought for all those people who were meant for those lives, and we still think about them when we close our eyes at night. They enter our dreams. They meant something to us, and they're always going to be there when we need to think about them. So, and I'll definitely include Mark. I'll definitely include Mark in that. He was a sweet guy. But anyway, longest stream ever. 12 hours and 43 minutes, so I'm going to end it here. But yeah, sure. Include whoever you want. Whoever meant something to you. Think about them. Let's all since we had such a deep stream that had its ebbs and flows, let's all close out. Poor Nathaniel. Let's all close out seriously thinking about somebody that meant something to you, who might no longer be with us, and whether it's a friend, whether it's a relative, whether it's somebody that you enjoyed. Yeah, that's a nice way to say, Chomsky. We carry them in our hearts and memories forever, and as long as you remember them, they're not really gone. That's as cheesy as that sounds. It means something. Happy Harry. Good night, Tom. Great stream tonight. Lots of fun and after hours with Perry and all the discussions afterward. Thank you. Thanks to you and Perry and everyone that helps PCL. Happy Labor. Yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody. I hope everybody has a day off. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Wow. As Perry says, I have no voice left. So, good night. And we'll talk to you later.